Come.
First of all, we'll give all praise and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hashem, Yahushai, Bashem Kakadosh.
I give double honor to the elders, the host of the GMS. Shalom out there to the whole people that pushing his truth and sincerity, man. You know, hey, again, another week in this place. This place is crazy. It's actually crazy, man. Look at what's going on earth right now. And it's all just to show, man, that the day of the Lord is coming. All right, and that's what I wanted to get into today, man. The day of the Lord nears, man. And there ain't no bright future for this place. Like, you see, you know, the decay of the earth. You got people talking about blotting out the sun and shit. Yeah. It's just crazy talk. You know, Trump and Elon are at each other's throats. You know, it's not very, you know, I was about to say, not very American. Maybe it's American, but not very, you know, professional. You know, for a president to be, you know, doing all that stuff in public. But I was saying another time, it seems that a lot is happening recently. You know, we had it with Zelensky.
Yeah.
The South African Prime Minister. Right, and now these two. Why all of a sudden all these things are made public? These are not public.
There's an interview with Megyn Kelly. Both can look it up. Where basically she's explaining that Trump before would do like all of these PR stunts, and then you hear her say it in her own voice. She's like, yeah, and then afterwards she was just basically like, if they're not talking about it, right, etc., 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 showing that he has a habit. Or rather, it's on record that he has done these things for views, basically.
Yeah, it's a show.
Yeah,
it's a fucking show, man. And this is what, like, you know, politics and government, you know, people ruling the world come down to. It's bullshit, right? And everything that they're doing is really harming the people, bringing us to this world that's full of chaos. You know, so the day of the Lord is near, man. You know, so we should have covered, you know, go into that, man. You know, they both, you know, we've got that. Read that.
It's in the book of Zephaniah 1:14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord.
Right? So yeah, again, the day of the Lord is near, right? And it says, what do you say? Oh yeah, finish it up there.
The mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
Right? And I see something the other day about them needing more fighters, warriors, right? No, that's what they did. They did a consensus or, you know, some sort of research, right? They was asking about Europeans, are they prepared to fight for their country, right? And it's something like, you know, you ask, you know, Britain and stuff like that, then it's like 32%. Only 32% are willing to fight for their country, right? Germany was even lower, it's like 22%. But this is the thing, right? You'd imagine that they're prepared to fight because all this patriotism, you know, English, like, all this patriotism, right? It don't fucking exist. It don't exist really. The men don't want to fight. They're too soft, man. They've grown up in a soft life. This is not World War I and II. The man was going to go fight for his nation.
Yeah. What's it saying? The Apostle Sahar brought out with weak men create tough times make strong men create good times.
Yeah. You've enjoyed good times, man. And so he's made weak men. Yeah. You know, and that goes for all of us. I mean, we've all grown up in a soft lifestyle, man, with comforts and all that kind of shit. These people are not prepared for war. And this generation that we got today, these young men that are necessary to go fight, they're not in no condition to fight. They all got some mental illness or some, you know, some health issues, or they just don't want to. They don't give a shit about England or these countries. They don't give a damn.
Yeah, it's
the Xbox.
That's that virgin daughter of Babylon.
Yeah.
You know, like you've never experienced like outside conflict like there's own land, like in terms of our country invading or, you know, coming against it. So they've lived in luxury for a long time. That's it. Revelation chapter 18 speaks about all the dainties they got.
Yep.
And that applies to the people. The people are comfortable, man.
Yep. No, and so you're not ready to not fight no war. And this is why you're gonna come undone.
Yeah.
You know, all this pride, all this arrogancy, you ain't ready to fight nothing really.
Yeah.
You talk shit. You talk a lot of shit, right?
Yeah.
You know, because you're NATO and all this kind of stuff. You got America and stuff like that. But really, you're weak. Ultimately, individually, you're kind of weak.
Yeah. And even on that, it's like it even makes you about even you see people from countries that have known war.
Yeah.
Like see it in their kind of aura,
tougher, man.
Like even countries that have like mandatory conscription for a certain time. Like, you know, like let's say over there in Seoul and that. The people, aside from the actual team, are very slender. You know what I mean? Because it's like they grew up in a school system where you're being made to work out, you're being made to do things,
Eat right. Yeah.
eat right, do a certain thing. Or like even now, like, you know, when we see people from like, even for us, when we see like Polish folks or Romanian and all that, you see that they
Yeah,
generally
they don't tend to be overweight
yeah.
and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
and if they are, it's because they've been here too long.
That's it. They come from rough areas, rough, rough countries or whatever. You know, they're more ready. They got that mentality to fight. You know, and so when you come up against guys like Russia that are living in the cold all day fucking long, you know what I mean? And then, you know, the nations kind of just grew up like that, you know, to be fighters. Like, you're not really prepared for none of that. Right? So that's all going to end horribly, man. So the mighty men are going to cry bitterly, man, because they're going to have to go to war. And even though you can't war, even though you don't want to go to war, you get called up anyway, you're going to be fodder. You're just be cannon fodder, man.
We just pick one.
Yeah, sure.
This is Isaiah 47:8. Therefore, hear now this thou that are given to pleasures.
Given to pleasures, right? This starts with America because it's the pinnacle nation on the earth, resource, right? The richest, the wealthiest, right? They've got such a vast wealth of different things, comforts that's why most of Americans are beasts, man. You know, yep.
It says, therefore, hear now this thou that are given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children.
So America behaves like he has no equal. You know, no one can stand next to America and tell me shit because I'm the guy.
Yeah,
we're that nation, and everyone knows that, and that's to be true.
Yeah.
Right? That's why when Trump's throwing around these tariffs, man, all these other Edomite nations in Europe and shit were groveling, man. Oh, please don't give us those tariffs. You know, oh, okay, I'll pause it for now. Please don't. You know what I mean? They were groveling. They want to upset the man.
Yeah.
You know, because they have that power. You know.
Same with the P5+1 with Iran. Remember, like the Germany and them, it was good business for Europe, and America said, no, you don't.
So like I said, they were scared to upset them, so they just went along with it. And that's why these allies, these European allies, these Edomite nations, you know, they're going to eventually turn against their master, man.
Especially even this whole conflict of Russia and Ukraine. It's like, bro, for someone that look, man, I need some gas, man. You know, from Russia, man.
Yeah.
Then
people granny's dying in this country because man can't heat the house and shit.
Yeah, can't heat
the
house.
Can't get cheap fuel or whatever.
You don't get cheap fuel, and everything's getting expensive, man. You know, and then obviously the whole Palestine thing. You know, some countries that are supposed to be like in league, even they're starting to be like, bro, like this is just mass murder. You know,
One time you lost Piers Morgan, like
yeah, and then even some of these lands have people from like, for instance, like like France, they got a lot of Muslims and stuff in that country. So it's even splitting certain people, certain lands where they got a bulk of them people in there. You know, that's why you've seen a lot of protests. You know,
and this is what happens when you keep unto yourself all people.
Yeah.
You know, always create this metropolis, man. And you're going to become divided. That's what the scripture tells you, man, in Daniel.
Yeah.
You know, they should not cleave together.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why, man.
Yeah. Yep. It says, that says in thy heart, I am and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day.
The Lord's got a great judgment against America, man. The day of the Lord is a problem for America. Because the Lord is not with America. You know, as we're going to read, man, it's the time of the heathen. Right, the Most High is coming to judge the heathen. Yeah, he's coming to judge wicked about people too, but you might as well be heathens, man. So you're just included in that ultimately. You know, so the Lord's coming to judge the heathen.
Yep. It says that dwelleth. It says, yeah, but these things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood.
So for all this time you think these are untouchable. That no one would ever dare attack America. That none of this would ever happen to you, man, because you're the virgin. That you ain't been touched. All these nations have known war like that on home turf. America hasn't had that, but they're about to find out. You know,
it says they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else decided.
And you even think you can, get around the Most High's judgment, man. That's how proud you've become. That you are a Ravi devil, man. You think they got technology to avoid floods and earthquakes and all types of things, man. But the thing is, you're gonna get got. And I'm glad for that devil to get got, man. He actually winds me up chronic, man.
He's like fucking.
Yeah, he's so blasphemy, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just, I need to do this dude in.
Have you seen that vein in his head? It looks like a fucking
Tumor, yeah,
alien. It looks like a fucking alien, bro. Wally, and you know what I mean?
I'm also going to show you his power because you severely underestimate the
yeah.
Heavenly Father, man. Severely underestimate, man. You think you're on par and you're just nowhere close. Like,
humans are hackable animals, like.
Yeah. Also, it makes me think of the precept, verily thou art the power that hidest thyself.
yeah, you don't understand, man.
You don't understand.
You don't understand, man. This world is going to be put to his needs, man.
Mhm.
And all the man technology ain't going to do shit
Mm.
when the day comes.
So, Ezekiel 28 from 2, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God.
Delusional.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually delusional, right? He's not even immortal. He's not even immortal like that, right? Yeah, he's trying to extend his life by heart transplants and all this kind of shit. Trying to make fucking clones or whatever. But you're not no God. You got little spy cameras, you can watch people some way. Yeah. But you're not on the level of the Most High, man.
Mm-hmm.
You really ain't. The Most High gonna show you, man.
That's it. Real quick, sorry.
Even the other day, they were talking about by 2030, they'll be able to achieve eternal life through science and like mini
Research on that.
but then I was like, hold on. What happens if someone's on a plane? Like in a plane crash, your fucking little human chips that can maybe stop, like maybe they form a computer, like, okay, this person's got cancer, so let me give him treatment, like at a very early stage. That can't stop you from death, bro.
To say no man can retain the spirit.
No man can retain the spirit, man.
Ecclesiastes 8:8, there is no man that hath...
Exactly. And guess what? A person can have all the chips in their world and just die anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Someone you can sleep and the Lord takes your spirit.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's two. There's two priests, and it's I kill and I make alive. But there's none that can deliver out of my hand. Yep. So it says, there is no man that hath, Ecclesiastes 8:8, there is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death.
Yeah, what awesome.
That's why he was dropping dead, man.
That's it.
The Queen and the Rothschilds, man, they were dropping dead. Why?
Yeah.
These men got the most money in the world, man. They eat the best food, everything. Yeah. But where are they? The ground.
Look at David Rockefeller.
Yeah.
That dude did that 9 heart transplant.
Bro, they can't even
get 9 hearts.
They can't even stop themselves being ugly, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they make bone jokes and shit. They can't even do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Man.
Well, even the French so-called prime minister's so-called wife.
It's like,
bro, that's a dude.
Like a man. Yeah, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, man. Bro. That's it.
I think
she's a man.
Yeah, man. If your car broke on the side of the road, man, his man hands go.
I reckon they're probably all men. All these
that's why I think
all men, bro.
Yeah, man. That's a dude, man.
Michelle Obama looked kind of sketchy, bro.
Yeah. You know, I saw a video of the French. You know, the PSG players won the Champions League. Yeah. So the PSG players had to go and greet the French Prime Minister. Yeah. And when it came to greeting the wife, you see the facial reaction. All of them looking at the wife like, nigga, who is this nigga? Whose man is this, man? Because if you see him, he looks like a fucking old dude.
Oh, man.
You know? It's a lot, man.
Yep. And there's no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. Yeah, but it says, and there's no discharge in that war. So it's like, look, man, the Lord's the one in control.
Right? What you surpassed Adam somehow? Like, how you do that?
Yeah.
Made yourself immortal, bro. That was for he's chosen to receive immortality.
Yeah. Exactly. I got more. I was going to go back to Ezekiel 28. So Ezekiel 28:2 so it says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God.
So your mind's there, but you know, your body ain't.
Mhm.
You ain't got the power to.
Mhm.
You know?
I'm going to jump down to verse 9. It says, Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee.
Insane, bro. When you got dead, like,
Yeah.
how does this happen? Or whatever, man. But this is why they're hurrying, because they know they're not really moving, but they just gassed in it. They got technology and they think, oh, you know, if we just work on it a little bit more, a bit quicker, but we can make it.
Mhm.
You know? But because you are sitting at the pinnacle of man right now, in that way, you know, you just think you can't be taken down.
Yeah.
No? It will take divine intervention. That's what it will take.
And even the fact that it like their NWO is not in full swing now. It's taking place. You know, they're putting the steps into place, and maybe there. But the fact that it's not in full swing now proves that they don't control nothing. Because really, it's the Lord that's been extending the time.
That's right.
Because you remember, like stuff like the chip, they've been talking about that from like the 80s, 70s. You know, when you see them older videos, remember there was that video. What was that dude's name? The actual guy, and he became a Christian.
I know the one. No, I can't remember.
If any brother knows it, the actual main, one of the guys who he was told he got brought into a room to come up with a tip, blah blah blah.
I remember watching it.
Yeah,
I just don't remember the dude's name.
There's videos of apostles brothers going into it, but the point is they've been speaking about these things for time, you know, for a long time.
No, not the
No,
Russo. No,
that's,
it's another one.
He was
Yeah.
actually involved.
He was actually
creating it.
involved in the science aspect.
But he realized, he realized what he was, and he got shook.
He got shook. You know? But they've been speaking about it for a while. But the Lord let the time extend so that the
Well, I don't want
other
to say,
members of the elect-
I don't want to say extend, because
Yeah,
it's a set time, innit,
yeah,
right?
set time.
But
According to his will.
This is it, right? But I was thinking about this because there's no scripture. I can't remember how it goes exactly though. But you can't force the Most High's hand. He's not. Might be something like that.
Until the said measure
Be fulfilled. Something like that.
So basically, the Most High is in control of the time length, and no one can make it go faster or slower, right? So he still can't push it. He can't force it. I know he wants it. I know we all know he wants it now. But there's limitations to, you know, there's obstacles that he has to overcome to get where he is. Oh, yeah. Okay. If you
This is 2 Ezra 4:37. By measure have he measured the times, and by number he have numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure.
Yeah.
Built.
Right. So he ain't gonna give you more time. He ain't gonna shorten your time, basically, man. But the Most High's just got this plan. You know what I'm saying? This is your set time. You know, your bounds that you cannot pass, right?
Yeah.
And Esau, he got obstacles too. Like we got obstacles to fight to get to the end. So is Esau. He's trying to get his new order in place, but it ain't just as simple as I'm gonna do it tonight.
Yeah.
Because the Most High don't want it done tonight. There's things to happen first.
You know what you make because you're talking. I'm thinking about the precept in Job, which says when he's about to fill his belly, right? The reason why I'm thinking about that is like with a meal, right? You may want it, but if it ain't cooked, it ain't cooked. You gotta wait for it. I know Esau, but you don't want to wait. But certain things you can't eat. You know, you have to wait until it's done, right? And for him, he needs this infrastructure, which is why you've been seeing since the vid, right? The world has changed since the vid in terms of the technological infrastructure in countries that you wouldn't even consider, man. You know, like it's a big project.
It's a big task, man. It takes time.
Yeah.
You know, as much as power and money Esau's got, it still takes time. There's a lot of people on the planet that he needs to convince mostly. You know, his leaders and all these kinds of things. They need to be under the payroll and on board with shit. And you got to get the people to actually be the lemmings that they need to be. You know,
I'm a preset. This is Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds, he cannot pass.
Right. So we know he's on a set period of time, and this is why it only works in our favor. Because we know once his time's up, man, we're gonna be, you know, taking over. You know?
He's bound. Like this kingdom that we're in is actually a part of the statute of Daniel. Like people read, that's that time, isn't it? No, like this is the last major empire before the Lord comes back. Like the Greeks actually existed. The Medo-Persian Empire actually existed. Babylonian, before them you had the Assyrians, which the leaders of the Babylonian Warrior series, it's like they all existed and got overcome in their time, man. So that's like this. People act like this kingdom is outside history, outside well,
How could it be?
it's not, it's not. You know what I mean?
To back you up on that, so each of them, they all thought that they were going to last forever.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Because that's the arrogance and pride you receive when you're on top, man.
Hmm?
You know,
Antiochus Epiphanes, he said in his day that he could count the stars of heaven.
well,
That's what the scripture says.
Epiphany. I'll look up.
God,
There's
it means God,
God, yeah, manifest, yeah.
manifest. You know, he set himself as the heart of a God,
Mhm.
man. Because Jesus got a God complex.
Yeah. Proud.
You know, he wants to be immortal. Other nations want to have slaves. Obviously, they're like rulers get proud and feel like they're just, you know, almost a god because they like to be worshipped. But normally it's like
Yeah,
Esau will take that worship to another level.
This is purely because he hates the Most High.
He hates, yeah.
That's why he's like that.
Yeah.
Because ever since he got told off, he's been upset. He's just so stubborn. He's like, well, why can't I do this?
How come you do this?
Why does he get to tell me what I can and can't do? That's why he wants to get rid of him.
Yeah.
You know what they were saying that it makes me because I was about to say actually linking up as well. It's basically Esau's on this thing that the Most High is wrong.
Yeah,
Which is why he'll push the T stuff. Oh no. Oh, the Most High made a mistake. You aren't really a man. You're really a woman. Right? This idea that the Most High makes mistakes. The Most High don't make no mistake.
Yeah. Why grapes have seeds? They shouldn't have seeds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one likes a seed.
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
You know what? That's spiritually say that, but that's the spirit of Cain. Cain, if his brother knew the right sacrifice to give, he knew what the right that sacrifice to give. Because remember, before we obviously had the official laws, statutes, and commandments, like in terms of on tablets. That knowledge and wisdom was also back then anyway. That's why you obviously had the clean animals, not clean and all that. But when the time came for that sacrifice, Cain gave fucking fruit and veggies, spinach. He put spinach onto an altar. You know what I mean? Whilst his brother knew what to do.
Well, the Most High laid it out for Cain, man. Like I said, he knew what he was supposed to do, but
Not to.
because of his rebellious nature,
I'm going to do this.
you know, because he is still rebellious to this day,
Yeah.
right? Because of his rebellious nature, he just did what he wanted to do,
Yeah.
right? But that doesn't help him. It didn't help him.
That didn't help it.
When you go against the Most High, it doesn't help nobody,
Yeah.
right? As much as you might not agree necessarily about something, but not doing it,
You have to do it.
otherwise you're going to end up paying for that,
That's it.
right? Because he told him, I'm going to read this from Genesis 4 quickly. This is what the Lord told Cain, right? Genesis 4:7. If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? Because it's the Most High that controls everything. He's the one that's going to bless you if you do right. If you do wrong, you're going to get punished. It's really quite simple. But he's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Why did you get to decide? Well, he's the one that created you, bro. What do you know what I mean? What position are you in to say anything? You know? It says, and if thou doest not well, which is what he chose to do, he chose to do the things that were not right. Right? The same with Esau, he chooses to do the things that are not right. And he knows it's not right. But he just don't give a fuck. Because he thinks he can usurp the Most High.
Yeah.
You know?
He feels he can supplant the Lord.
Yeah.
Which is why he wants to block out the sun.
Like he can outsmart the Most High. Because obviously if he's bound by his promises and he can't fulfill them, then he can't ever come and save us.
Yeah.
So that means the earth is mine now, isn't it?
Let me block out the sun. Like,
You know?
that's surely gonna work.
But it's like those movies, you end up doing the things that end up causing your downfall. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? That I was watching a bit of the movie yesterday. I didn't finish it. Final the Destination Bloodlines. That's what they call it. Yeah, and the concept of Final Destination is deep because it's like everything they feel they're doing and everything they think they're not trying to do, it leads to the same fucking eventuality of their gut downfall. You know what I mean? And that's the story of this kingdom. He's doing the secret council, agendas, think tanks. It's all leading to your end.
Because he wants he wants to rule forever, right?
Yeah.
The Most High says that certain prophecies have to be fulfilled before he gets taken down, i.e. the MOTB.
Yeah.
This man's pushing the MOTB.
But
And the Lord made him so blind, he died. Like, the joke's on you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? We all watch you just walk into your own pit. You know, I know how people are going to suffer
Yeah.
because of your actions, but you're going to fall in the same very pit.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Let me grab that. That's Psalms.
Mhm.
All right, it says Psalms 7, I believe, 7:15. It says he made a pit, digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made.
Yeah, all this digging, all this planning, all this preparation that you've been doing for to destroy our people mostly and to enslave the rest of the world. It's really going to be your bed.
Yeah, innit?
It's going to be your bed where you're going to be
Well,
sleeping.
a prime example is the bunkers.
Mm.
The bunkers
Mm.
are like you're
Ovens.
basically like a nice, basically like a nice jail. Because you're just waiting there
Yeah.
for us to come pick you up.
Easy pickings.
Let me grab that.
You're going to come around whole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You call them dumbs, right?
Yeah.
Stupid. You know what I'm saying?
He's just waiting. It's like, you know,
They-
when the time's right,
They're
Don't
only
just-
one location.
that's what I'm
right?
saying.
They have to gather you up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got different bases on this scattered and that, but it's not like you got to find the individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says Amos 9:2. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them.
Yeah.
Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down.
But they're going to say, hide us from the wrath of the Lamb.
Yeah.
You know,
Bless
because they know what's going on ultimately, man. And when all this judgment is going to be going on, it's like shit. Like, well, who's prepared for this? So you're going to go down into the earth, up into space, under the sea, and all that kind of shit,
Next
thinking
door.
that you're going to get away.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to find out that, man, those were your last days.
It's a bunch of sitting up.
Rounded your souls up.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Because they call it in police and they will call it what, kettling?
Yeah.
Where they'll like put people just like that and then they'll put them in one area so they're easier to manage it. So you're kettling yourself. It says, thence will I bring them down, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite.
Well, you actually think you're hiding. Most I sees, man. You know, the most I sees, man. There ain't no way you can go on the earth. Most I wouldn't know where you is. You know, that's why the eyes of the Lord was 10,000 or 10,100 times brighter than the sun or whatever the number was. You know, the most I sees, man. The angels are everywhere. You know, the birds are telling you, man.
He says that he that made the ear, can you not hear?
Yeah.
You know, made the eye, can you not see? That's right. It's like he's everywhere.
Directly connected.
Yeah. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to finish more in that one?
Yeah, just see if you finish it.
I feel like I had something remaining somewhere. But okay, because we were talking about this earlier, if I can grab this. So Psalm 50:16. But unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
Yeah. You had no right to pray down as the righteous in the earth, man. Hide behind the Bible and act like you're some holy men. When you've just been the devil the whole time. And you know, it's worked. The deception's worked for the masses of people around the world. You know, somehow. Even though you've been fucking evil to them, somehow it's worked. Right? But the elect ain't buying it.
I did a video earlier on in the week touching on that, man. It's a beautiful thing, that's true, because Esau's allure, the Lord has taken that off of us. So we see Esau for who he is.
Yeah, it's not a case of it's just a few bad eggs. No.
Yeah,
The whole
all of
fucking
it.
nation needs to go, man. They're all devils. They're all liars. No matter who they're gonna put up in front of your face to smile at you, and they're all working against you, man.
That's it. Like
You know?
this current charade between those two puppets, right? It's we're thinking, okay, what's really what else is happening?
It's
It's a distraction. It's just so, and as the elder mentioned, right? That's why there's been each time it seems like there's a new issue every week in the Oval Office. You know,
It's all public.
exactly, all public.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of false information being put out, like the whole thing with the boys killed the boys. Like, bro, like, come on. It was like you're talking about genocide, or you're talking about like 30 people. You can't eat, and even when you look into it, one of the things that they say is that in South Africa they don't actually classify those farm murders by race. So there's thing also, how do you know those you're getting so many of those deaths? That data simply doesn't
So
exist.
in any sort of mind, there should be no black farmers anyway. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have any land or anything like that in the first place. So they all must be white.
Yeah, but and it's like you see how these Edomites are hypocrites. So so-called people from foreign lands in their country will go and do let's say acts of violence, right? And then they'll be like, "This is why we close the borders," right? But then let's say that is happening in South Africa, Oh, it's a genocide. Well, why any dead? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to complain about people being in your lands, which you stole, by the way, why are you mad that they're like come in the same spirit as you?
And then the hypocrisy, which a lot of people called out, if I remember correctly, was this: wait, so you can call that a genocide?
Yeah.
what
What
did Cameron say? Oh, the Starmer. I'm not a lawyer or whatever, so I can't define
But you're meant to know the law, though. You're meant to know the law.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's a lord, bro. Like, what the fuck you got all these titles for, man? You don't know shit.
Oh, really?
Oh, I don't know. Well, shut up, then. Don't be no leader, then, innit? You don't know. You ain't gonna have to say.
Mhm.
You know?
Says that goes on to say verse 17, seeing thou hatest instruction and cast my words behind thee.
That's right. They have no intention of following the script like they're supposed to in terms of like the righteousness of scripture. They don't do that. They will, at every moment they will try to abandon it.
Well, this month is 5 months, no? Yeah.
Well, I hope the fucking thunderstorms that are coming here, man, fucking struck someone up, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This weekend?
It's well
This month.
June.
I say, we've got supposed to have thunderstorms this weekend or something.
Yeah. But I think the actual march is the last Saturday of every June. It happens towards the end of June.
Can I read through the rest of this? Yeah, it goes on to say, verse 18. It says, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Which is why nowadays you can't trust anything you hear, can't trust anything you see, right? You know, he's always doing something.
I say, like, Trump is on the list.
Trump says, well, he's on ketamine. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. What's really going on exactly?
So, no, it shows you the Babylon stuff. Because here it is. A so-called leader. He's he got a puppet hand behind his back, but he's got it up his ass. You never know, probably got a kit. You know what I'm saying?
it was purchased, but he's vanished.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened with the kid.
But like I was saying, it's like, come on, like other countries and their leaders, which they're puppets too, but like their spirit of how they are and appear before the people is one of being in a stern vibration.
Yeah.
Babylon, you're so cool to me that leaders having a
Stubborn and childish.
hustling match.
Yeah,
on
like
Twitter.
TV.
On
On
Twitter.
level, yeah.
He pulls out the phone. Hey, like, come on.
Yeah.
But Babylon,
Which one of the things I was very interested, which you never know, because sometimes the algorithm chooses what to show you, innit? So sometimes it can end up in an echo chamber. One of the things that I did see was that quite a few people being like, so wait there, Elon. So if you have us to believe what you're saying is true, you knew about this and you didn't say anything.
Well, I just found out. Yeah, sure, man. Yeah. So like, you can't even know. You don't even know if you're telling the truth or not. It's just bullshit, isn't it? Because you can't clarify none of that stuff. Because someone just brush it off like it does. It's just bringing shit at each other, man. But no one knows what the fuck's going on.
Exactly. Confusion.
That's
He's so in confusion.
When he found out he was on the list, remember that they came out of the room, the courtroom, and they held the paper to the camera. Well, that's the list.
Does that mean they got the list?
Yeah.
That's why it's just filming it.
Yeah, crazy. Goes on to say, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. And more Jake is being made the evil ones in the world. Right? Yeah.
I wish a lot of people got focus on, especially the voter.
Yeah, like you've nuked, fucking bombed up people, fucking imagine that people getting married and shit,
Things flying around.
kids playing with butterflies.
Hellfire.
People just fucked up. But then, a couple bugged out niggas up down the road pull out a shank and make it happen. Oh yeah, that's just the worst people on the planet.
Don't get me wrong, I people are savages. Like, you're on another level completely.
Who created these ninjas?
Oh, what does it say? Righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. For the way of the wicked. Peace to them.
That's right.
Like, really, so you look at people being a nigga, Jake being niggas. The best nigga is Esau, man. So the biggest nigga is is Esau.
And we're gonna call you that in the kingdom.
Yeah, that's what
We're gonna call you that in the kingdom, man.
you nigger. That's what we're gonna call you in the kingdom, man. We're gonna call you niggers, man.
Yep. Hard R.
Hard R.
But this is the thing when you look at how like people do business in this world, it's just straight niggerdom, man. How Esau does business, you gotta call it what it is. Like, for instance, I shared that thing about venture capitals and how they work. Because Jay would say, "Oh yeah, just set up your own thing, man. Right, we can make it." Nah, what does the scripture say? If thou shall be the borrower, and he shall be a lender. And then when you preset that with the borrower subject to the lender, right? But then also everyone knows whenever you hear someone says, "Oh, he made an engine that can run from water," there's like a running joke. Oh, he's gonna get killed. Like, why is that a statement in this world? Because Esau is a gangster. Even which I remember looking it up years ago. Right, I'll need to go over it, but I remember reading that actually the car engine that we have now, the internal combustion engine, right, was less efficient than the one that Nikola Tesla designed. But the oil industry was just like, well, that's not good for business. We want a less efficient engine. So these man just move like criminals, just straight gangsters, man.
But the oil industry, they've had different types of technology. They could be using instead.
Yeah.
And now you've got these EVs. Well, who's buying that?
Yeah.
You saw in all these programs again. Now everyone's got to buy an electric fucking vehicle. Who's making the money? Esau. Who's mining the shit? Jay. Other foreign nations. Make sure they got the lithium for the batteries and all this kind of shit.
Slave labor as well. Straight up slave labor.
It's not as eco-friendly as they make it out to be, because there's a lot of casualties involved in it.
It's like it's called rare earth minerals, right? Now, before I used to think that meant that they were rare, but once again, Esau with this terminology, rare earth minerals also covers minerals that are extremely hard to extract, which is why they're referred to as rare. So that means it's hella energy intensive, right? And as the elder was going into, you look at cobalt, right, and how you basically have like Congolese man just up in the pits, digging that stuff up, man.
The more they mine, the less there is to get.
Mm-hmm.
The harder it is to get. Price goes fucking up, and they're already expensive. So who affords these things in the future? Hard to fucking afford them now.
Yeah. Or 15-minute cities to come, you go and walk everywhere.
That's what I mean. It's not about people. This future is about the elites, man. And this is what a day Lord has to happen, man. Right? Because everything has to be corrected. This place has to be destroyed, man. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to rest it out from the hands of the elite.
If I may, it says Matthew 24:22, and except those days should be shortened, they should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
So get it out, man. Otherwise, he's going to destroy us all, man. The Lord can't have that. The Lord made a promise to our forefathers. So we can't be destroyed. He's still trying it every day, all day, every day. Every technique that he knows he's doing to try and destroy us or to have us so far in sin that you can't escape.
Once again, just showing you that this thing of his is futile, because you was talking about how Esau's trying to do everything to destroy us, and eventually he's going to come to a point where he's going to be like, look, this truth can't go out anymore. Well, you're fulfilling prophecy in the Amos. Then he's going to be like, that's not word. Let me get at them. Well, Isaiah 59, right?
That's why they're worried about the council. Because they're always trying to find an angle, but they're never going to be. Hey, they don't understand these demons that they're consulting ain't working for them. Yeah. They're working for the Heavenly Father, man. Yeah, right. So they're not leading them in the correct direction anyway.
Yeah, in street terms, they call like a backdoor the person. They're like a backdoor deal is what is when like you make a deal, but like a person thinks we're the same team. Lead them.
Yeah, double agent.
Double agent.
Oh, set up chick.
Satan and these demons to these elites are setup chicks.
Yeah.
You know? Oh yeah,
It's
come around.
whispering the sweet nothing. So like, hey, you take them down.
Don't hurt the oil in the wine.
Yeah.
Like these demons can only do so much.
That's it.
They can't lead
Got
you to
preset.
destroy. There's just no way it can
Yeah.
happen. Not the elect,
Mhm.
you know.
Big
They're not,
setup.
they're not permitted to even go that far.
Yeah.
You know. Because always they'll just say, "Yeah, just drop a nuke in this
Yeah.
town here."
Yeah.
They can't just go and do that. You know, that's what they want to do. They have to go about it in a particular way. And they have to follow the stars and
Yeah.
all these types of shit, the numerologies and whatever, just so they can further their goals. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're not permitted to go as far as actually succeeding.
But guess what? Ties into the scripture.
Yep.
Because it says, because thou art wearied in the multitude that counts.
Yeah.
The saying, oh yeah, but if I do that, but I thought you said all I gotta do is to go and sacrifice 1 million of them. And then it's gonna work.
He was like patience.
Patience, my son. You know what I
You
mean?
know what? Because I was thinking it as well.
You guys are like,
Real talk. So I was gonna say, because when you were saying that, I was thinking as well, as has been said by apostles, elders, asking before. That's why the world is getting even more and more demonic, man. Like for instance, I sent the lyrics. I don't really listen to not that I don't listen, but it's like I don't hear new stuff when it comes out. But it was that song by Kesha called "Cannibal." I was walking, I heard it on you in the store and you hear. I was like, the fuck is this shit? The lyrics, if you look up the lyrics, it's just hella demonic, man. Right? And Esau's just bringing out more and more of this demonic stuff right in your face for the people to consume because they just think, oh, it's just a fun song. It's catchy or whatever. Right? Not understanding that enchantments are being, put on you like on a day-to-day basis, man. It goes, let's say if I can grab, so did you have it? Okay, I got something. Okay, it's a quick one if I may. The Sirach 18:3, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will, which includes the demons. For as the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. Yeah.
This is how the Most High controls things, man. You know, he's the creator of spirits, right? You don't think you got control over the spirits? You don't think you got control over Satan? He created the spirits, man.
Marvelous.
Exactly. So like, you should be playing with, man. Everything is his will. Whether it's left hand sided or his right hand side, everything is his will, man. And he's also being led, but what he thinks is higher level power, that he can tap into.
I have a precept. This is Ecclesiastes 18:3. Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he's the king of all by his power, dividing things from among them, dividing the holy things among from them profane. Huh? So all things obey his will, man. That's just Satan is the servant of God, man.
When the sons of God is in Job.
In Job,
Yeah.
Job, Satan takes all this, bro.
So whether it's for wickedness or for righteousness' sake, they all do the will of the Heavenly Father, man.
And really, ultimately it's all righteous because he's doing it all anyway. Like if Satan,
Satan.
Satan did righteousness, he's wicked.
Well, Satan's not going to be destroyed.
Yeah, it's just
Satan's going to be around. Like,
yeah, that's it.
He's going to know evil, though. Isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not like that.
It's beautiful, man. Just what do you call it, man? He's trying to get rid of the mosquitoes, right? Which when you look at mosquito larvae, right? Fish eat mosquito. I mean, if there's an animal in the world, there's a purpose for it, right? Scripture, what does it say in Genesis?
There's ecosystem.
Yeah. It was all good. I was gonna say, yeah.
Right? So, it's one another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was made for the benefit of one and all, essentially.
Snakes. People will be like, "Oh, snakes are evil," but it's like, yeah, but snakes have a purpose. They help. I think it's like with because you mentioned mine. I think it's like with rodents. They help clean the rodents out and stuff like that.
Volcanoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're destructive than they are, but at the same time, they provide other benefits for the planet. So we can't say, "Oh, let's stop all the volcanoes."
Perfect example is forest fires.
Forest fires.
Very, very important to the natural habitat. But then Esau, oh my God, is there would you call it? It's like, but mate, like you built a house in forest. You built wooden houses in forest land. It's like, I'm sorry, you can't blame the forest for that. That's a you problem.
Certain lands they have controlled burns.
Mm-hmm.
Revitalize
The land, yeah.
or some
It's needed. Mm-hmm.
Say, oh, that's not how it should go. It's not right. Yeah. Oh, no, that can't be right.
Yeah, parking lot. The whole land
Yeah,
had
like,
like
goes to parking spot, the parking spot is fucking big enough for the car.
you put the car. Yeah.
So, but he still is, he's like, you know, the pinnacle of incompetence.
Yeah.
You know, his intention as he puts himself across the beat, he's messed up everything.
Ruined the world.
Oh,
No, go, bro.
Oh, you're gonna okay.
This is Ecclesiastes 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of the man the ruler of the city is, such are all that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which have authority, the city shall be like inhabitants. So he's destroying the people, man.
He's destroying the people, destroying the planet.
Destroying himself.
But how can this be the ruler that we need?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not the ruler that we need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he will talk about, oh yeah, but you got iPhone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what? Yeah, in your phone. Oh, yeah, great. But what's happening with the earth?
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean?
So, because even with you got AI, you got iPhones. Okay, what do most people do on their iPhone? Go on Instagram, social media, which is creating what a national health crisis. Everyone's got fucking mental health, mental health in that, right? Right?
Everyone's got a fucking cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
That-
Yeah.
You don't get cancer.
Yeah.
With this shit.
Yo, yeah,
You're
even-
fucking the mind.
Even I think there's an app called what's it? Smarter Health, Better Health. You know. So I don't know why my feed it comes up, man. I'm catching hell, but I'm not. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, if you always see it. You know what I mean? If you need a therapist at home, like in a comfort, like in your own room, it shows so many people are depressed that it's a business industry.
Yeah. Real talk.
At
That's
home,
a good.
you know,
That's
be
a
on
good point.
FaceTime. You know, so when I was 5, it's like,
But you still pass off like, yeah, we should know about it before.
yeah, we didn't know about it. Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they're
That's
fucking
exactly
up.
what they say.
But you know what? The thing is, people haven't got fulfillment in their life anymore. What I mean by that is, a woman can no longer be a woman. In fact, I remember hearing something that said something along the lines of, which is true, which is a woman is not celebrated unless she's masculine, and a man is not celebrated unless he's feminine. So it's like, oh my God, he wore a dress. Oh, he's so brave. He's so courageous, right? But then when a man's being a manly man, it's he's top switch on him on. You get certain characters that are pushed out there to behave, to force that narrative. Yeah, but it's just this thing of man, you be seeing women that have given up. Because I actually met a woman like this, where basically she put off her career. In fact, 2 women. She put off her career. So she put off having children for a career. And you just see them just break down. What they call it, hitting the wall, right? And then they just break it. They're like, bro, I got lied to. You know what I'm saying? So then who were they gonna go talk to? A therapist? Where really a baby running around the house would have been what would have made them happy. A man can't be a man. But amount of men, and you see it. A happy wife, happy life. But deep down, he's dying inside each time he says that.
It's a motivating feeling you can't provide for the family in the first place. Because you can't even get a job that facilitates what you need. To make like a man in your woman's eyes, or whatever the case may be. Because you look like a deadbeat. You're on minimum wage and some shit. You're trying. You're fucking trying, man. You pouring your heart and soul into his family and shit, and don't appreciate it because your standard of living is not good enough.
The West.
Yeah.
This is why I would always say the earth is big. You can travel to another place, and this dude's a fisherman, and his bird is a market. She sells food on her head and shit. But guess what? They have unity. They have unity.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? This is all we got, but let's make it work. Here you can have both of you do the same fucking job, no babysitter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's the culture he's sort of put on you. Like, he's put on the selfish and you know this covetous nature.
It's like, I was going to bring back, and what exacerbated that Instagram,
Yeah.
where it's always seeing everyone's doing good, and so you're always thinking that everyone else is doing something, but that's just simply not true.
We've got to work harder.
Exactly. Well, the real of the matter is, man, when you look at the lives some of these people live, but then you look at the statistics, it don't add up. And that's why, for instance, the elder was going into what was that term, man? About basically the trade deficit has basically meant that Americans have long been able to live outside of their means, right? But Salaka, bro, credit, yeah. Yeah, bro, that credit card 0% interest, man.
Shit, man, I use that. I think I bought
Exactly. You know,
wise, man.
me too. Flag with a hole. Flag with a hole.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that is something people will be living. It's a lifestyle.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But that's again another distraction.
Mhm.
Making feel like they're living better than they are, and they ain't.
A bit more. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over one that is profitable.
And this is what we're waiting for, man. This is what the earth desperately needs. How Shai needs to return. You know, because this place ain't right, man. I don't know what you think this place is. This is like some righteous kingdom. This is the kingdom of heaven or some shit. I tell you what, man. If that was the case, man, this world would be in the morning like it is, man. This world would be so hard as it is.
And if I can, man, that's one of the things. Like, speak to different people from like different places, and it's a common consensus, regardless of where you look, what country, everyone's hurt. Everyone's hurt. Yeah, they may have different things. Say that, let's say, we don't have, or we have things that they don't have.
I just think some people are more content than others. They just deal with the situation. We're here, but like
Yeah.
people grow up in these West Soft, they've had all these luxuries or whatever. And when they ain't got these luxuries, they bug out, man. They're not
Yeah.
used to any type of hardship.
Which is why what's about to happen, what the Lord is about to bring on this earth, it's gonna, especially America, it's gonna be so bad, man. Right? Especially in America. Bring that pain.
Goes back to America, fire nation and that. What we're going to do is make things more expensive for the people. And so they can afford less things. It's not saying, you only have $1.
Yeah.
No, he's telling you, man, that you're going to have less. And you're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
But America's not used to that, man.
Exactly.
They ain't used to that, man. Even Jake get fucking Jordan and shit.
Yeah. Jake,
It's expensive.
exactly. Has a collection each year, each pair, each year, what you call it, the new football kit comes out, they get with the full kit and everything, new colours. That world is over.
Trainer collectors and shit, they don't, man.
Yeah.
Sound like a joke, man.
Fucking grab this. Because talking about how bad it's going to be in America. It's Isaiah 19:2. And I'll set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
We supposed to chat about Kyle, like banks. Like there certain people, certain food banks to do their aid and stuff. But each time you're sending aid to Palestine.
Crazy.
That's truly a cruel mode, man. There is the niggas in Palestine are getting, not even the niggas in Palestine. The rats are getting, you know what I mean, aid to make it happen. But then, like in your own show, people are fucked. Yeah.
It's funny because it's like, my cousin messaged me earlier on, because when you said you post something in the chat, I just looked at my watch. The last thing he said, this place, i.e. the UK, feels doomed. Yeah. East is doomed.
This is what I'm trying to tell you people, man. The signs are all there to be seen and to be understood. You don't want to believe what we're saying. You think there's some happy ending at all of this, man. There ain't no happy ending for the nation.
That's it. And that's why it's kind of like, why do these people hate the message so much? We know why, right? But but really, what we're saying is, look, man, we're here for a better world, one ruled by the Most High.
One that don't include you.
That's it. Yeah.
Because you are very unnecessary, man.
Very unnecessary.
Very unnecessary, man. You're not
Let me
important.
grab this. Let me grab it. So I did this.
We're righteous.
Yep.
That's why the saints are going to judge the world, bro. Like
Mhm.
this earth needs judgment, bro.
Can.
Like it needs structure. Like people. That's why as well. In parts I've heard like certain ex, certain people who know the truth. Are like, so what? The king of
Yeah.
boring, man. Well, it's going to be forever. No, there's gonna be things to do, man.
But you know what? That's the
It's
spirit.
gonna be rolling, bro. This kid is boring.
Yeah.
This kid is boring. This is boring, man.
But you know what? That's why that's the spirit. Because we was talking about how Esau pushes his witchcraft. Because Esau pushes that, for instance, in his media, he will push like the so-called Christian, right? And then they will be quote unquote like not doing anything fun. But the one that's demonic or whatever, what have, they're the one that's getting the girls, the one that's going out partying and stuff like that, pushing that image that righteousness is boring. No, this is boring. This is death, right?
Having a purpose and responsibility and actually moving the parts, it gives you like comfort. You know when you actually achieve something. Like,
Mhm.
like a farmer can be farming for 30 years because he's bored. You know what I mean? It's part of his duty.
Yeah.
I was saying, man, it's a pure carnal lust that they put on these people, man. You know what I mean? Because they're hypocrites. 'Cause at the end of the day, when they're not doing these things, they feel empty.
They feel empty. Yeah.
Their soul is not nourished for what they're doing, man. It's not. They can't take any real happiness.
Yeah. Oh, like that.
It just feels good in the moment.
Mhm.
They're like fucking winning goldfish with the limited, brain, memory span or whatever. In the moment, it feels great. They get some next ecstasy and high out of it, but when they come down, bro, it's like it's really shit. It's grimy. You got FPDs now and shit. You know what I mean? You're just fucked up with shit. Oh my grandma, the parents are like, it's not great. It's not
Well,
great.
children have cat. Each time I see Great Ormond Street Hospital ads, I'm just there like, bro, this is some bullshit, man. You've seen the little, which may be Edomites, but even so, it's like you've seen like little 6-7-year-old with tubes coming out their nose with cancer, and just like, bro, yeah.
And then you're crying because now your child is fucking in the hospital bedridden,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, yeah, but like wickedness doesn't pay. This is what we're trying to get to the point. Is wickedness does not pay. It leads to death and destruction, right? It leads to sadness, man. It leads to loss, right? If we follow the commandments, man, life will be better. Like no one says you can't go out and have a party. You can have a righteous party.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can have a party for righteousness, and enjoying certain things. Imagine enjoying like we're getting Smirnoff vodka.
Yeah.
Imagine the highest quality thing you can get.
Exactly.
Or whatever you can enjoy things on a high level because these elites do.
Yeah. Salaki is quite, but we was talking about parties because these guys are saying that, oh yeah, but what do you call it? It's alright. You can't go. You can't do parties and that. But let's be real. When you're at them parties, you're worried about next man coming and shooting up the place.
I don't worry about this shit. There's girls in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be some fucking frigid dude. You know what I mean? You can't go touch nobody. No one said that. You can have like multiple wives and shit like. So what are we talking about?
They're all yours.
Don't understand. You just don't understand what the kingdom of heaven is. And I'm not saying it's all about parties. I'm not saying well, you don't really understand what it is.
Exactly.
That's the problem. You too many white churches still talking about heaven and shit. Like, they don't know what's gonna happen afterwards. They're just gonna throw it upstairs. Just sit there.
The kingdom of heaven is gonna actually live.
Power, authority.
Yeah.
We've got jobs roles to do. Fulfill.
You know what I mean? Like
it's like this place, but a mirrored version of righteousness as opposed to wickedness.
Yeah.
There's still things to do here.
Still things to do, man.
And there'll be things to do in the kingdom, man. Because everything's gonna be set in its righteous order, man.
It's us.
Job role. You want the fire chariot? Yeah, go deck your chariot out. You want to. No one's stopping you. If you want money or whatever, innit? You have the power to go do that. You want to go take holidays? Yeah, you go Himalayas, do whatever if they're still around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is what I'm saying. It's really unlimited. It's really unlimited. You're not gonna be bored, man. That's just stupid, man. You're just too fixated on the Esau's doctrine.
The carnal man cannot receive the things of the spirit.
You can't be on both these levels, bro. You can't do it. It can happen. Oh, in the kingdom, we're gonna be a bubble in that.
Like even like the actual seed, the seed. They say they've only discovered like.
Yeah, when you because normally you see the maps, you open up Google Maps or Earth, it shows you like from like with Europe on the right hand side, America on the west. But when you spin the globe, there's nothing. There's a bit when you look at the globe, there's nothing on the other side of the world. It's just like what? Ocean. But it's So,
Still see different fish that you've never seen.
Raise tigers. Yeah, what the fuck you want to do, man? You can't do that shit. You go fucking
work.
the job site. You know, we pay your damn fucking bills and shit, parking ticket. I mean, like, it's bullshit,
Yeah,
man.
and then after you pay your
Next
parking
shit,
ticket, and the time you pay your parking ticket, we can't pay. Still free.
Bag of holes.
Wisdom of Solomon.
So basically, for the because of the rain and that.
Wisdom of Solomon. 1 and the 14. Say what? For he created all things that they might have their being, and the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth, for righteousness is immortal. Yeah, that's how it's going to be.
So the Lord saying you got to take away what tears from our eyes, yeah, and all that, man. We ain't gonna live in fear or in any type of trouble. We're gonna be continuously blessed, man. And that's what Jake is trying to get in this world. It's just not obtainable here, though. But you think going through Esau's world that you can obtain it somehow? Oh, if I just start this business, you know,
No,
I can go feel right. I can send my child to private school with a bunch of fucking Edomites. You know what I mean? That ain't fucking right. That's not what you want. That's not what you really want. You don't want to live in the neighborhood for a fucking Edomites. Yeah. That's not what you really want. What you really want is your own fucking kingdom. You're just too stupid to understand it.
Because when they say they want to live around them Edomites, they don't want to be in a decrepit state. But it's then like, now you're not in a decrepit state, but you have no idea what your child's being taught. They don't want you there. They fucking, your child goes for a sleepover. I have no idea what's happening at that sleepover. Yeah.
It's not comfortable, man. You know it ain't. You know, because you got money, you try your best to fit in and do all this shit, but no one really like, they want to like, what the fuck is this nigga doing?
Well, that's
Bro.
You know what I mean?
remember that.
Because of the ballet class, what the fuck is this nigga?
Remember that series back.
Yeah.
Damn. It was a good little showed you, right? Basically showed, I think, it showed you the story of Jake
Compton.
How it was before. Telling the perspective of Jake's families, because it was a good family, they had a good job, whatever. But then their family all caught help.
Yeah.
And so to this very day,
It's the same thing. Yeah.
You know, a child goes to school, getting mentioned the 5 years.
But it's like the thing is as well. It may not even just be out and out type of, and you know, it'll be stuff like undermining your intelligence, which we all experience that, where it's like the age old thing of like we come up with an idea, all of a sudden that's not a good idea. Then Timmy says exactly, which you know we use those names, but those are righteous names. That's from Timothy, right? But you know, he will huh? Scott, Oscar. Once again, the thing is, these are all Oscar's a powerful name, but Esau's just co-opted it. Wait, what was he speaking about? Name stealers. You know, name stealers. Would you call it? Would just basically say the same thing. Esau will say the same thing, right? And then all of a sudden, it's a good idea. What does that do to your psyche? And as a Jake, you're trained to. Perfect example. You might see a Jake in a nice car. Esau's trained you to immediately think, he's probably a drug dealer. He's probably this. You see Jake wearing nice things. It's probably fake. I forgot who was being interviewed, but it was like, so why do you buy fake, like fake designer brands, right? It was like, because you're gonna think it's fake anyway. So am I gonna buy the roof and you think it's fake? So why am I? That's it.
Righteousness is immortal, but ungodly men, their words hold it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it.
And so you choose that left-hand side. You follow Esau and his wickedness, man, because you think you're better off with that. And there's been a portion of us who have always done that. Yeah. You know, that would rather go the way of the heathen.
giants, you know, apostates, you know, back then. You know, it's the same cycle of story. They go to the way that he was, live their way, get judged. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's why now, you know, you have to be made perfect.
You have to raise voices, brothers.
That's why now you have to be made perfect, right? I change, you know, new bodies, right?
If you could come right up, because I've got it on the wide lens.
Yeah, man. So that's why now we have to be changed and made perfect, right? Because otherwise, if we stay in these bodies of sin,
Cycle continues.
they're gonna be right back here, man. You know what I mean? Like that same theory. The Lord came back, kingdom was established, but we're just in the same bodies, same mind. We'll be right back here, hey, first and foremost, in 1,000 years, bro.
And that's the thing, like the
Yeah.
righteous of our people can't save the nation.
Yeah,
That's why, because none of us can, not a sacrifice.
that's it.
Yahweh had to be that sacrifice. You know, so we've had righteous men come in the times past and tell them what's wrong, but it could never change anything ultimately.
Yeah.
The Lord could only judge them, you know, until the Savior comes. You know, and the Savior's been, and he's going to return.
Yeah.
Right, and those that believe in the Savior, that believe in the righteousness of the Most High and His Son, can be delivered, man. You know, and then we can start from ground zero the right way,
Yeah.
on the proper foundation. You know, as opposed, because you know, they just want to be here, man. It's like you can't have niggas that want to be here in the kingdom. How's that gonna work?
That means those are individuals that love wickedness.
Yeah, they're broken, man. They're broken individuals, man. Wickedness is too deep rooted.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't work, man. That's why the Lord's gonna destroy them, man. It's fire.
Which is why, for instance, you get like certain diseases, like for instance gangrene or something like that. When you get you just got to cut that bit off, chop it off.
That's the body
That's
just died.
That's it.
You know. Yeah, go. Ezekiel. And then, like, man, this world is miserable. It's raining and shit. Rain. And it's into a party, of course. Well, yeah, man. It's, man.
But it's lucky it's according. Scripture says these have power to stop the rain, right? And so imagine knowing, like we know there will be a day when we can just through the Spirit of the Lord, of course, right? Just be like, hey, even if it's just in our little section, locally, right? No rain.
Yeah.
But we can't. Yeah, exactly. But we can't do like the Lord says that these things are gonna happen, but we can't tap into that yet.
If it's raining here, you be like, you want to just teleport somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just,
The world is yours, isn't it?
yeah.
You go in here, anywhere you want. You change the location.
You don't know what
You know? You ain't gonna take a plane.
Yeah.
Wait for book a flight.
Exactly. Hey, Helen, go through security.
Exactly, man. If your daughter wakes up one day, oh, Daddy, I want to see a polar bear.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah, no zoo,
Yeah.
no aquarium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, he ain't gonna worry about it either. He ain't gonna worry about
nothing.
you, right?
But guess what? For you Edomites and you heathen, boy,
I got precept.
you actually gonna still be like scared of them beats.
Yeah, you're gonna be the bait.
Yeah. You're gonna be the bait.
As we were. Real quick, 1 Corinthians 2:9. But as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High hath prepared for them that love him.
How can that be boring, man? You don't understand. You don't even know yet. We don't even know. We speculate because we've got imagination.
Yeah.
But even our imagination can't go far enough.
And hey, righteousness is boring to a demon, man. A demon.
Oh, they love darkness rather than light.
Right?
Yep.
And the wicked hate, what's it?
As the ways of the wicked are an abomination, the righteous are,
Yeah.
the ways of the righteous are an abomination.
You know? So yeah, of course it's gonna seem like that way to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know? You've already inhaled toxic air.
Yeah.
Drink fucking toxic water and everything else is toxic. You haven't inhaled all that shit. You know what I mean?
It's fucking all go to a pride march.
Shooting off and shit.
Yeah, bro, pride march is that's wow.
Yeah, man.
Pride march.
Well, if we had the power to just send fire on that place, but we would. Imagine that. When we just standing here, we just call fire come down up on that place. We would, man. Yeah, man. You know, I mean, like, you know, you just can clean out the mess. You know, yeah, we would, but it's not possible right now. You know, because we wouldn't allow it in our nation.
Yeah.
It's
So yeah, so you got that.
But more than that.
I got what I mean. Yeah, so we go to Ezekiel, for the 6 and the 24 and stuff like that. Say, for I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean.
Yeah.
And it fucking that because that's what I was reading. But reading that, I was just thinking about how Jake doesn't know just how much of a bad case we're in. You know, it's like what you mentioned it before. You know, people think, oh, you can just start a business, or only if you just. In fact, the only reason Jake is making it up in this world right now because it's the end of this man's kingdom. The only reason you're hearing, right, from time that must have been a signal for a lot of them richer white boys that was done when you started hearing Jake start talking about stocks, because that's one of the things I think Rockefeller said that. It was like when you know a stock is done when the shoe shine boy is telling you about something. You saying, no, now everybody knows about it, right? Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm putting like, I mean, I know niggas in it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put my money into these times. It's shut up in the honestly. 50x, like,
Yeah, exactly. Late in the game.
Apple or Amazon, like, everyone knows about that. It's like, yeah, you might go up a little bit.
Exactly.
You're not going to get what happened before.
Yeah, you need to have millions to be able to for those moves. So exactly, you know. But that's it. It's
£1,000 in shares. Okay.
yeah. End of the year, it's 1,010.
Savings at bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, but the point I was making is Jake just doesn't know how much of a bad case we're in, right? And there's nothing you can do, right? Because
you don't understand how temper is going to be.
yeah,
Means I do have it.
mm-hmm.
It's going to be so fucking temper, man. It's going to be like all this hard work. You put in more years of hard work than you got anything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the fucking story of Jake's life.
Yeah, that's why they'll be like, man, pay into this 401k. You'll be useful in your later life.
Safe.
Yeah, safe.
Until it's not.
Exactly, until it's gone. Because what that came out in the with Liv's Trust, that basically they had messed up the pensions, man. Yeah, and then the Bank of England had to come and bail it out. You know, hurt because they believed in the society. But it makes me think as well the precept in Isaiah 31, where it speaks about that go down to Egypt, but trust not in Yahweh, the Salakah.
Yeah, this is it. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness and from all your idols.
And that's the most important part of all of this. Us needing to be clean. Because regardless of how well you might be doing, we're always going to hold ourselves back. Because we're not right. You know, we're not perfect with God. And just like Cain was funny because he went right. It's the same thing. We're not just going to lose, isn't it? Everyone loses when you go into the kingdom. Yeah. You know, so we need to be clean and made perfect so we can actually prosper in our ways, made righteous.
Because the wages of sin is death.
That's right.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. The whole head is sick. Like every individual Jake can tell you about their life. But like, bro, our people to be changed, bro. Like you know, for real, bro. Look how much of our people, like, you know, abort kids, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I saw the other day on the timeline, you know, there was an Eve talking about, you know, you don't want a baby. You know, dating, you know, like that's what they say. They're dating. Or that you think that you think you're gonna be dating in the kingdom.
Exactly.
Let's go on a date.
Dating is fucking terrible.
Because
all it is ultimately overall is a negative experience.
Yeah.
And when you come to be ready for a relationship, you're not ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
You're not good enough for a relationship because you're messed up. You're not operating as well as you could have been.
Yeah. And like even when we talk about like dating in this world, it's what bitches you're getting food to eat and getting popped. And then 2 weeks later, it didn't work out, so you're gonna go with the next guy. Well, in the kingdom, it's gonna be marriages. Like, no dating for 2 months, it didn't work out. Because he's a different, us to a different star sign.
Yeah. All of that.
And I'm a Gemini, and we didn't. All of that bullshit. It didn't click.
But the ironic thing is that didn't click is because of all the carousels you've been riding.
Yeah.
Because man,
comparing.
yeah. man, it was
which car
Yeah.
car listen to.
yeah. That was what I was saying. It's like, man, when I used to like be in the office regularly, yeah, I was just sit in the kitchen, which that was my spot, innit? I was like sitting in the kitchen, like and, my laptop and that. But then I'll be hearing these women talk. Yo, it's mad out here. It's mad out here. Chicks.
The thing is, what makes men and women not compatible?
Yeah.
Men don't like women that are hoes.
hmm
Yeah, they'll deal with them for a time.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for this long-term relationship, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because he already knows what you are, and it's not convincing otherwise. But you've done this to many other guys before, so you're not thinking it's special.
This is my first time.
He's got 5 kids.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
I'm gonna do the thing serious.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I've never done it before on the first day.
on the first back guy. You know, you push it, not date. Right? Men, you like men that experience, so it's different for us, because we're meant to be experiencing what we do and how we carry ourselves. But women, we don't like experience women like that, man.
Which is going out. She's been through C-section.
Oh man.
She had a natural birth.
It's like, you might be still pretty, and you're fuckable. You're like,
She had it all.
but as soon as you start doing madness, it's like,
Hey, come on, man.
there's no loyalty. There's no real loyalty there.
Yeah. You're broken.
But to make it, falls on the man as well, because he can't find a good partner either. Because they're all hosts.
Yeah.
You know?
So then he
And
creates more hosts.
This is what I'm saying, right? So he goes and creates fucking 7 more. Because they're not right in the mind. The synergy between man and woman is gone. And that's why dating is bullshit, because there has to be an end product to dating, supposedly in this world, right? If your end product to dating to get experience so you can get into a good relationship, well, you use yourself up. No one wants that relationship. So the end product is not there. Some of you fucking scammers get lucky with rich dudes and take half his fucking money and shit. But that's fucking sad, man. That's super fucking sad, man. I know my man's be hurting. You know what I'm saying? Can't not.
Just because the environment of 15. So I'd love a girl with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman.
And the reality is most women are wicked, man. That's just the truth, man. That's just the same as most men are wicked. Right? There's no illusions here. We're not painting like, oh yeah, we're not this fucking red pill, man versus woman paradigm shit. The fact is, most people on the earth, man and woman, are fucking wicked. And they need to cleanse. And that's going to take the Lord to come and change us all, man. And establish the right ways.
We jump down to 19. So all weakness is but little to the weakness of a woman. Let the portion of the sinner fall upon her.
Yeah. Well, even though it's a circus, they're both wicked. But one thing that's been popular nowadays is the whole Offset and Cardi B. Cardi B, the one who said she just used to strip and rob men when they're drunk. Spike a man's drink and rob him. She basically was married to Offset nigga, and basically now she's got another man because he supposedly got caught cheating or whatever. And this bitch had another say, God told me to find another guy.
True.
And I'm like, God didn't tell you that. It was Satan. You know what I mean?
You do not knowing the script.
You know what I mean?
Well, this is that mess of the dynamic. A woman needs a man, right? A woman needs a man, right? And vice versa. But you fuck it off yourself when you go wrong.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Self-sabotage.
And now she's left like her husband, who was supposedly cheat, to go meet another nigga who has no bitches. This is how confusing, this is how perverse the mindset is. That's why they need their power. The arranged marriage.
Power in the right mind.
Yeah. That's the real. That's real. Because I was thinking about that earlier on, man. Because it's something that we've been saying over the last couple of months. Anyway, of just like, you get a lot of Jake that they're in the house, but they're good for nothing, man. They're there, yeah. So what? Setting that weak example. Yeah. Setting that weak example for their children, man. Or did you finish? I think.
Okay, go ahead.
As they're climbing up, I mean, a son way is to the feet of the age. So is a wife full of words to a quiet man.
Yeah. Women are so empowered these days. They've got their mouth too long.
Yeah.
And
The scripture said just before them, as like going up a sandy hill. Hey, imagine some
Tiring, man.
old like he just catching hell. Going up,
And everyone should know that's
Yeah.
tiring.
that's
Yeah.
tiring.
That's hard work.
Shit, man.
That's hard fucking
you,
work, man.
you,
I can't stand
Even
it.
even not walking on
Yeah.
a sandy hill, walking on a sand with like I don't know, baby and shit.
yeah, it's tiring.
So imagine going uphill
Mm.
on a sandy, then someone that's aged too.
Yeah, but you,
That's a wife that's full of work.
yeah. Always remember when Apostle Rama did a video titled "You Men Are the Problem Too," right? Because let's be real, man. You be just out. You be observing like men and their interaction with their wives, and you're like, bro, like, oh, that's a backup worthy statement that's just been had. You know what I'm saying? But he's just did she's pretty. It's like, nah, bro. Your woman's not supposed to be talking to you at you like any which way. Yeah, exactly.
Bro, there's women out there like that are married just because they got an ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What is, like, what you do?
Mm.
The mindset. But like that simple Jake. It's like
Oh, him. Yeah. Prospect.
and he basically caught his woman cheating or doing other shit. But it's and the whole fucking industry was telling him, don't fucking marry. He still got married.
Married, I believe, with no prenup
With
as
no
well.
prenup.
And this is why scripture also tell you don't give your strength over to a woman. And a woman said you
No
know
power
that
over that substance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you need to bring wisdom, man. Like this world is not correct. You have to accept the world for what it is. It's a wicked ass hellish place, man, that doesn't work in your favor. Yeah, you're doing good, but that can end in a minute.
Yeah, and she'll be a big part of
She'll be a big
it.
part of that. She can be, right? Because Satan
Ask Shay Shay. Oh, he's a freak.
Right? So you gotta be careful, you gotta be wise, man. You gotta proper vet people. You know, same with women, you vet the guys, man. Not just like, you know,
Yeah.
he's got money. Or he's got money.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be fucking smarter than that, man. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying go bare dating, but like don't go out there. I just think like if you're around people or whatever the case may be, like just get to know them, innit? Like
Which is why the kingdom needs to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of this, you know, podcasts ain't going into the kingdom. Like all of this podcast in the kingdom. Imagine that. You know, hey guys, you know.
I hate don't get that's going on. I hate, but it's not the bullshit.
Fuck what bullshit.
You know what I mean? So I should know. I should have to hear this all the
Yeah.
time.
The worst.
I can't just like live
Mm.
and just be like unaffected by bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was I remember
It's not.
one of the elders actually spoke on that recently, man. Because it's like I was thinking about it right now. There are like people on the other side of the world just like being slaughtered as we speak right now. Bellies are hungering or hearing their kids scream because of starvation and stuff like that. We know about it, but when we look around, we don't see any of that here. We've got our own problems. Then that's adding on top of the problems that we have as well. Because in the back of our mind, it's like, right, that's all happening, but here it is. You don't see any of it because you've got your own things to be dealing with.
Always very smooth about the internet and all that kind of stuff. It's like you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that's what's going on. Unless you got like I'm carrying a merchant or something.
Yeah, yeah. When
You
you
wouldn't really know about it like that.
when you look at history and certain of the kingdoms that were coexisting at the same times, right? Even at the same time as, let's say, certain bits of the precepts in the scriptures, and it's just like, oh shit, that was happening at the same time. That this was happening over there, but in the scriptures, no mention because it wasn't bloody important. Had no interaction. Had no importance.
And that's another thing that shows you, man, the script is very Israel centric.
Exactly.
You know, of course, what's happening in the world. There has to be, right? There has to be. But the only things that matter in the scriptures is what was happening concerning Israel. Things that concern Israel around about. You know?
Precept. This is Second Ezra 8 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time, right? The latter times, that shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride.
Yep.
But understand for thyself and seek out for the glory as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded. Rest is allowed. A perfect goodness and so many people have walked in and great pride in that. Well, right now it's Pride Month. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just like it's cool to scoff against the Most High. It's just cool to scoff against basically anything righteousness. Like bro. Now, if you talk about like if you got like a certain job, if you mention in a staff room a woman's job is to be home and have kids, you might get sacked.
You will likely get sacked.
You know what I mean? And then if you say a man's a man or like a woman's a woman, you just say that.
Yeah.
If you just say that, bro, you're gonna get sacked, bro.
Stephen, how can you say that?
Everyone's looking at you like everyone's staring at you, and you're like, oh shit.
And then all of a sudden, I always knew that Stephen was a wrong one. Exactly. Exactly. Which is, yeah, you can't go see a lot of these people full of shit, man. Because the proof of that is, though, like for instance, when you got a company may have like a Mo or like a transformer or a cross dresser, and you be thinking everyone's down with it, but then one day you catch them when they're yacked. Yeah, you see, he always comes in a dress.
Everyone feels like
Everyone's, I can't lie,
And
man.
that's what I'm saying. Even the women feel like he's doing that.
Like,
But no one can say nothing.
Mhm.
So it just doesn't get said, innit?
like even me, like in my company, man. You know what I mean? I have a lot of old school white British chicks there, and they fucking get there. They're like, look, man, it's fucking bullshit. He's complaining that sometimes they have full on half an hour like of eventing, but I always feel like putting a preset. Going in. They're like, man, my daughter has to go to school and be told, you have to accept this teacher being this. Like they're actually complaining and shit, man. Because the whole world is tired of it, really.
That's it. Oh, it makes me think of the precept, ultimate, the earnest expectation. Yeah, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God.
That's what Romans 8.
Yeah.
And it says, so if you carry on here,
And this is it. Despite the fact that we're going to put the nation to slavery, first thousand to be the shy, right? To the judgment. Only what you need is us. What you need is Yahweh Shai in his kingdom, man, and the righteous judges, man,
yeah,
to rule the earth.
there's shit that people that quote, and I can't find it though. The one that goes how the multitude of the righteous is like for the welfare of the world, something like that. There's a scripture on that, like basically goes into righteous rulership. It really benefits us. Because when kings,
Because righteousness benefits. Because righteousness benefits. You know what I mean? This is what we're missing is righteousness.
yeah,
Wickedness doesn't benefit.
we're actually not saying anything wrong. Like people thought, Israelites.
Oh, that's us archaic though. That's like bro, things work. Things are gonna work. And the thing is, right, it's true. There's no real example because those ultimately are righteous, but we never had a righteous people to enforce them. So yeah, you can say, oh yeah, but there's this going on and that. Fair enough, it was. But we're gonna have a righteous people ruling over the earth to make sure righteousness flourishes in the earth. You know what I mean? Let that happen first, and then you can decide whether or not it works or not, innit? But you depend on where you want to try it.
Yeah, because the first 1,000 years of the kingdom is the establishing of the righteous rule.
Yeah, the order.
Then after 1,000 years, served punishment, the extinction of Esau.
You're fully educated
Yeah,
in the ways of righteousness.
and like because of reincarnation, you're dying, you're coming back, being reinforcing your seed line.
Yeah.
Different peoples in the world. This is how it's going to be. This is not changing.
There's no other ways.
And that's
This is
it.
the only way.
You
No, all these idols, they ain't gonna exist no more. You ain't gonna catch yourself praying. No one's gonna remember that. They're not gonna remember that idol.
And guess what, man? If you go up, the saints, the guards, them going to just zap you, and then that's it. We're gonna start again.
That's righteous judgment.
That's righteous. Like all people on the planet are entitled to land.
Yeah.
Like even number one,
Defend for themselves.
defend for themselves, farm for themselves. Because you obviously have trade. That's what's coming back. a step that the land of Eden's gonna go to Judah.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's,
Yeah. There's a good because right now he can just come into your land and just take it.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it.
He has the power.
He has the power.
The Palestinian, like it's the Palestine thing, which we don't have a full Palestine against Palestine, whatever it is.
We're going to host in that race.
We have no horse in that race. It's just that it's social commentary of what's happening, and we filter it through this. If you ask us what's your opinion on Palestinians and Israel, fuck them both. Because the land is for the 12 tribes of Israel.
But judging that in that matter, in that isolated
In
situation,
the isolated, it's wicked what's going on. Yeah. You know? Yeah, go ahead.
Isaiah 14 and 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, even everyone in his own house.
Go into it, bro.
So I mean, in the kingdom, that's going to be, you know, after judgment upon the heathen, you know, after the staff was for talking of heathen, all these nations they're going to go to their land, you know, a lot of land, you know, and they're going to have their what, their the leaders and
but he's not going to have nowhere to go. You know, he's going to put straight back to the spirit world. That's what he's going to do. Yeah. You can read on about that if you wanted to.
Oh, what's that? Isaiah.
Yeah.
I've got a bit more in the second Ezra. This one, yeah.
Because then if we maybe finish that one, and if we can maybe jump to the top, near the top, because I was gonna get near the top in Isaiah 14. That's all right.
It says, this is second Ezra 8 to 53. It says, the root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and moth is hid from you, which is what? Corruption. You know, the scripture speaks about this corruptible must put on corruption, man. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be made righteous, which is why eternal life can't come for Esau, because he sinned, and sin brings forth death. You know what I mean? It's impossible to really become perfect, to really not die. You have to be made perfect. You know, the scripture says that he that's a weak among you shall be as David, and the house of God shall be as what? The powers, man. You know?
But this is why this is only a gift for the Israelites, because they're the only ones that be given the offer of being made perfect. You know, it's part of our blessings.
But as well as upon there's a preset. It says who was in the video we did the other day. It's like who has basically suffered like Israel has suffered, right? Because it's like it beggars belief. Here it is. The Israelites went through what we went through, right? Captivity after captivity, pain and hurt, right? The northern kingdom, southern kingdom, all of it. But then some Edomites can just come in at the very end and just be like, "Oh, we know you. We know. In fact, we had a hand in that. We're gonna join in." And it just doesn't make no sense.
You know, it's funny, like when you see them take on a marathon, and then that guy tried to like cheat
On the last 100 meters.
Marathon system.
Yeah.
The guy gets to the finish line. The actual real marathon winner getting there, and this fake dude comes. He sprints to the finish line. Trying to pretend. I'm like, nah, nigga.
Yeah, we saw you come in at the last. Yeah.
They on the side.
and that's basically what these people like vocab on the same from the other nation.
Yeah.
They have to deal with the curse, get fucked over, and then now you're going to sneak up through John 3:16, just sneak in there.
Yeah.
Get out of here, bro.
Hey, but that's Esau's mentality. He just usurps shit anyway.
Yeah.
He takes his fees and
Name stealing.
you know what I'm saying? So that's no surprise to us. That's what he does. He's trying. This is a fugitive and a vagabond. And so he's going to try and find his way somewhere where he don't really belong.
Yep.
You know?
It says, weakness and moth is hid from you. Corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is true the treasure of immortality. And that comes with us being made perfect. Made perfect, being made free from sin. And therefore, ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty.
Mhm.
They despised the Most High,
Mhm.
thought scorn of His law, and forsook His ways.
That's right.
Moreover, they have
So if I go speak on that, man. Hey, these people make scorn of the Most High, man. Right? Because that's it. When we reference these scriptures, right? We speak about things of the law and stuff like that. And it may not even be the nastiness of the scriptures, right? It may be certain there's things that are a little old. Like you might tell someone, yeah, nah, you can't eat pork, man. Wait, so I can't have bacon? Nah, I want bacon.
remember.
Nah.
You mentioned about man, like basically, if God told me to start eating pork, I say
Damn.
God, like basically.
Damn.
And guess what?
Why? Why are people so this position?
It's so
Why
brutal.
it's so wicked? Why are they so rebellious? The most I told you, why would you not do it?
Mhm.
Knowing that if you don't do it, then you're in for a world of pain.
Well, the scripture says,
We are living examples of that pain.
Mm.
As I mentioned, when we talking about he's going through his life in Israel. You mentioned that, right? Anytime there's been a slave trade going on, right? Israel's been at the center of it. The two well-known ones is Egypt and the transatlantic slave trade. Yeah, there's slavery going around all across the fucking world at one point. But what was really big? Our captivity. You know what I mean? And this is why these are important focal points in history. That's why they even exist like that. So you can look in the scriptures, you see what the scriptures are saying. They pertain to the Israelites. You give a fuck about the Arabs in slavery.
And like it's crucial that you mentioned that. So when we talk about the word diaspora, the two common, like even if you go and chat GPT, the two common examples is when we got scattered after 70 AD and the dispersion of days and transatlantic trade. We like they're going to the Benjamin Island, South America, Babylon, and it's spiritual because it applies to the same thing.
It's a story of revolves around the Israelites. That's why the important thing in history involves the Israelites. The Most High got it there, highlighted, so to speak, in the world. So you can see things for how it happened.
It's the book of Baruch 4:24. Like as now, the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power.
All the world have watched us go into slavery. And no one's done nothing. That's why they said no man shall buy you, no man shall save you. But they all watched, did nothing. And they're all confederate against us. To make sure that we don't know who we are. To make sure we're always at the bottom. That we they were taking advantage of. Right? So because you watched it happen and benefit from it, you're gonna watch us ascend. In front of your eyes.
Oh, and the enemies beheld them.
Yep.
It's like the order's not bad, but if we could just come closer, just help it out a little bit more.
I was going to say, shortly, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting.
It's going to be like a, I don't know, what's that saying, man? Like a kick in the teeth, right in front of your face, like it's made evident, man. You people are all fucked up, man. Okay, you've oppressed my people. They are my people. You are nothing. Because the Lord said you nations are nothing. You people ain't gonna be saved when the judgment comes. You want to see Israelites getting saved from the four corners of the earth. That's what you're gonna witness. You ain't gonna be on no chariot. Okay, but you're gonna feel the wrath of the Lord.
This is
Sorry, finish it.
My children suffer passion, the last
Suffer patiently. And this is what they don't get. Because we're trying to make it in this world, right? Because we're not patient. And I know it's been a long time. For us, it feels like a long time, man. Our forebears, we've all struggled. We'll go through some shit, right? And you think you're on the cusp of doing something, right? But again, all that shit is temporary in this world, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth you, selling out, so to speak, in order to get these goodies that Esau's going to offer you on the table for a very short time. right? But you could obtain the kingdom of heaven. You should be patient and focus on the Lord, right? And getting right with the Lord, repenting. That's what you should be focusing on. That's what I feel we should be doing. You know?
Yahusha said, "Woe unto you that are rich, right? For you have your consolation, man."
Because the thing is about temple. The temple. Right? So you get consolation, man. It ain't gonna last long enough. You think you because they always talk about all this they keep calling it, man, wealth and inheritance, like
Generational wealth.
generational wealth, right? You ain't gonna be able to pass it on, man. You ain't gonna pass shit on. This place is gonna burn.
Yeah.
Everything that you work for.
And you know what? You said it as well. There's that precept. I believe it's in Proverbs, where it basically speaks about you can do all of this, but then your son or his son's son is basically an asshole.
Yeah.
He's a fool. Yeah, daughter. Yeah, so that's a better way. It's like, yeah.
You're not gonna be like these man. So about 20, 30, 40 generations of wealth being passed on and passed on. With no worries and no cares, but you can't even get past 1 or 2 generations.
Yeah.
You earn it. But eventually all this place is going to be gone. No matter how many generations you pass it on, it's going to disappear. So is it really worth it? Why not? What's the scripture say about laying up treasures in heaven? Why don't you do that? Because that's immortal. That's immortality right there. That's going to go on forever.
That's it.
This is what we're all trying to receive. So we can actually carry on. In righteousness, that we ain't got to worry about what's going to come after. We ain't going to die anyway. But our children, everything about us and our people is going to be good.
And that's going to be beautiful, man. I remember you said this like last year or something. But it's true. It's like this idea of Jake wants to be good, but then the rest of the nation ain't good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but this is it. Jake has that thing of envying over each other. No, envying is lording over each other, man. Where it's just they're like, well, I got this. Well, it's like, oh, yeah, but you should want your.
What's that dickhead Christian that was? I thought he was buying out from somebody, but he's quite wealthy, but he's teaching scripture something. He doesn't. I don't even think his name, man. I've always seen the whole time. Like recently, fairly recently. We were speaking about it a while back. But he talks about the businesses and things that he's doing and that. But he always talk about but you shouldn't be teaching this and like he's some sort of type of authority. You're just a joke. At least you're a joke. You're sold out. These still might not come with the fucking contract, but you're really about this one more than anything else.
Exactly.
So you ain't got.
You talking about that guy that like he basically said whenever he would say he's an Israelite, he's like it would affect his work or brand.
No, I don't think that. But you're just making fun of the prophets, basically, isn't it? They're out there, because he's got money, he's got things and whatever. Like,
Yeah, but he wouldn't. Tell me that he's talking about the women.
No.
I've seen a couple of them characters online. They talk about
But they're proud because of the thing that they've got.
Yeah, he's really not saying got no.
You're not really about the truth. So you want to just shut up. I don't think you're talking about scripture and that kind of stuff.
Hey, look,
You should be teaching.
We do good, honest work, man. You get a lot of these people in this world that make it seem like that some of them they may have, but like a lot of these guys, especially as we're finding out in the entertainment industry, right? Even any type of industry where you're getting paid an exorbitant amount of money, right? They've had to do stuff. Yeah.
He's sort of making mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much more than us.
Yeah. The 0.001%, like.
There's no way you can be a righteous believer.
Nah.
Really get.
Nah.
You have to fuck somebody over.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Even because you know what it is as well. Even saw something recently. We were just kind of talking about that. It was like, having morals in this world. Basically, you can't get rich. I believe I've heard, for instance, Apostle even say that. It's like, would want maybe like become like a mechanic as an example. But mechanics, we all know these guys are hustlers, man.
As I know,
Yeah.
Often
by lying, yeah. Remember when I rang you and my brother I bought as well when I had my Ford, man. The guy went to the spot. The mechanic tried me like 2.5 grand. Right? Then I went to another mechanic. It was like 4 bills, like 400.
But that's
Full of lies and robbery.
there's no
Honestly,
yeah. Everyone's trying to be a scammer. Man.
Yeah. Well, as the ruler, so is the people. Because I think about that sometimes, man. In the context of Esau, hasn't Esau doesn't even have his word, right? You look at the whole story with like Esther and that. That was because the king had basically made the rule that had said it, and it was like, oh, well, I can't go back on my word. Exactly.
you can't go back on the word. That's why this promise us can't beat this or not.
Therefore, you
Those
sons of
people
Jacob.
don't like that, and you don't think it's right, because the most I've been unfair. It's a possible thing. Most I don't. Most I don't care. That's it. You know, his word's his word, man. Ain't not gonna be make him a liar.
Yeah.
You know.
Slap, you've got more in it.
My children suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from Most High. For thine enemies has persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck.
This is what we're prophesying onto, man. And you know we're hateful because of that, but this is what the Most High is saying, though. You know, we're gonna witness the fall of our enemies, man. And you other nations are our enemies. You didn't beat so, right? So we're waiting patiently for that time, and this is why we're not going crazy. We're not running around punching out Edomites. We're being patient about it, because it's not in our power to do nothing about it right now. We have to wait for our Lord to return to give us that power, and then no one's gonna be able to talk. No one's gonna be talking. It's gonna be a lot of doing, right? And it's, you know, you nations are not gonna be able to resist or attack shit. It's not gonna work, right? So we're just patiently waiting for that day, you know.
This is back in what I was reading, Second Ezra 8 and 56. It says, "For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, for scorn of his law and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteousness." That's what they're doing now. Scoffing, you know, just like you mentioned, certain dudes online, dudes smashing. That's what they're doing, man. And guess what? If these people had it their way, there are actual people actually there who want to take us out of the game, man. You know, which made that brother, hopefully doing well. Remember that testimony of the brother, man, recently. You know, the brother that stabbed. LA, there was a brother, you know, the feeling was that guy was, you know what I mean?
Set up.
Agent, you know what I mean? Testimony from the video. But point is, if these people recently, like a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like the point is like, man, this is people who had it their way, man. They take all that.
Jerusalem, now that killeth the prophets.
But it's a great direction when it comes from those that feel the Lord, man. So, you know, we know this is what they want, but the Spirit's holding it back. You know,
It says, "And said in their heart that there is no God, yea, and that knowing they must die. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them." Thirst and pain, bro. Hunger, famine, anguish, weeping and gnashing of teeth. You know, there's weeping and gnashing of teeth when you're in pain, bro. Like shit, like remember back in the day, well, probably happens now, but you know, like you actually don't step on a plug. Oh shit! Fuck. Or like you're like knee bumps the edge of the table.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh, the elbow. You hit the elbow.
Like,
Oh man.
Right? So how much more your fucking intestines are over there? Like, do you remember there was a video of that dude, fucking Elam guy, and I think he had like a pet tiger, but it bugged out on him, and he was breathing, and his intestines were outside of him. He's like he had that super fucking anguish. You know what I mean? That's that pain. Or even, do you remember that? I think it was like a Latin thing. He was in a wilderness. He's taking a selfie, and he looked in the selfie with a panther. Remember a panther, and he's like, oh, like he basically like, oh shit. And then the next video was his body mangled. So that's what's coming to people, man. You know, especially in this world, man. That type of death you see in Final Destination. Some of the death scenes are like, damn, like bitch falling from a story building right into a spike through a mouth, comes through a head. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that's the kind of the judgment that's going to be happening to people, man. You know? Yeah. It says, for as the four things shall receive you, so first and pain prepared for them, but it was not his will that men should come to know. You know, so hey, so when that time, man. You know? So that's why our focus is on those that are of the elect. You know? No, let's get 2:15. But it's that ties on to that. You know? When it speaks about for evil I'm exceedingly.
It's actually older, man. This is no, I haven't got one sec. Yeah, if you've got it, yes, I thought I had it.
Leviticus 15:1. Behold, thou in the ears of my people the words of prophets.
Probably the whole world, though. His people.
Israel is at the center, right? Yeah. All these other nations on side pack. That's why it doesn't benefit going to the large people in Madagascar and Papua New Guinea. Like Smyrna. Like now. You're going to Smyrna now. It's already it was done back then, man. And now same thing it's through the internet, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
In this current era, man, we're treading new ground.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? America's possibly going to remain in America.
Yeah, even that.
They never got to Britain in the UK.
You know what I mean? It's like,
New place.
yeah, it's like Jake just want to go out the country. Like, if you're going to go, just say, look, I'm going to take a trip. I'll probably go on Sunday. I'll be back by Friday. Teach
That's what.
Saturday.
Yeah.
No time making like you're going to wake people up.
That's what
You're not waking no one
saying.
up in the Seychelles. You know, I'm going to teach God people in the Maldives. In the Maldives.
I keep saying, I was like, well, if you want to see you on a holiday, just say you on a holiday, man. Just like keep it real. You know what I'm saying?
You fucking lying. I'm teaching God's people in Seychelles.
Yeah, in Monaco.
In Monaco. Like,
Could have football, or Gestard, or the Bay Edomite place. He's on the slopes.
Yeah, on the slopes.
Just doing some skiing and that.
He's got his camera teaching in a certain kind of angle, so you can't see the porn star
Martini's in the back.
Stop lying, man. Right, bro?
Oh man.
But yeah, the point is the ones
Oh, I've got to pre.
of my people, man. The Israelites. But Israel is the center of prophecy.
That's
But
right.
it's coming into the whole world.
Yeah. It's like because something was saying. Because on that point, I was thinking about you remember with Moses and Jethro, and then Jethro said the thing that you do is not good. Because what was Moses trying to do? He was trying to judge everyone by himself, one by one. And so I was thinking about that in the context of these guys, because it's like they're moving like they got to speak to every Israelite one by one. It's like, no, it ain't so. It's the internet does that for us, and it's for the elect.
Yeah.
So Nate, the thing that you do is not good.
No, I mean, there's different things now. There's different things that can be used
Yeah.
and utilized. You know what I mean? We're not in that time where, horse and cart, they have to travel by ship and
Yeah.
different ways to do things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Different types of things, but the internet is what is really pushing the word out there to the corners.
Yeah.
Most places have internet, right? And even if they don't, guess what? They're going to find it. They're going to find it. You don't know why about that. You know?
Funny because a couple months ago, I actually went and checked ChatGPT and I said, like, I asked ChatGPT on average how much pounds are there in the earth, innit? And they gave me a mad number, like they gave me like basically between 1 and 2 million. So I said, so how long would it take you to visit each town? Just by week, like 1 week at a time.
Too many
Yeah.
lifetimes.
And it said something like it would take 10,291 years to go every place for a week. So imagine, like, so they trying to say that they're gonna go to every city. But it's not happening. But the way that happens is through the internet.
But I'm sure, yeah, but I'm sure if you ask ChatGPT what's the most effective way to send a global message,
You tell you the internet.
that's where you're going to be one, if not number two.
Yeah, that.
You know. See? But that's how we do things, man. It's the most efficient way to do it.
Most efficient way.
Hey, was saying in the world, work smart, not hard.
But like I say, it's an impossible task.
Yeah.
It's really an impossible task, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not even sure that how many days it's telling you.
It said 10,291 years.
Right, so even if man will prophesy since the time of the Lord tonight, this people go right.
Probably another 8,000
Exactly.
years.
So, and what happens when there's mass migrations as well? So it's like now you got to go back over there.
Like, the phone's going to end by the time.
Exactly.
Why do people have more food? You know what I mean? Like, you have to come back when that son turns 12.
True.
That's why this is a spiritual thing at the end of the day, man. And it's the Lord's work. The Lord's work, man. But they're not going to escape the Lord. You know what I mean? Most the child said that they get into my father's hands. You know what I mean? No one can take them out. Like they're not going to fall out. You know what I mean? Just get missed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, bro?
The word second Ezra 6:20. And when the word that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then we issue these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's possible for you, isn't it?
Psalm 19. Psalm 19.
Brothers from all over can watch videos, different time zones, and all day long. It's always available to them. You know, and so many videos.
Mm-hmm.
It says there's no speech, no language, their voice not heard.
So-
That's right. Their brothers in Holland that
And
you can teach you sign language.
Yep.
So you can't make that up. Like,
And the AI has revolutionized the game now as well, because this is the thing. It's like nowadays, what do you call it? AI can just transcribe into any language.
yeah.
Done. You know. So this is just a thing of the Most High, man. You know, it can always translate as well. So it's like maybe don't change the audio, but you see the subtitles in a different language and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's ironic because once again we're speaking about it, but he's doing all of these things and he's going to use that AI against us, right? But guess what? Right now it's working for us, man.
And then it came back up to the 10,000. Like, scripturally speaking, what's more of the 12 tribes? You don't want to speak about the Gentiles, of them being the scattered 12 tribes of Israel or actual evil. And ChatGPT agreed and said, you know what? To keep consistent with the Bible, the Israelites being Gentiles in the New Testament fits with the biblical narrative.
Yeah.
And it actually makes the Old Testament and New Testament be one word, basically one big message. So even ChatGPT had to agree.
Yeah. But which that whole AI, they say certain things. One of the things that they touched on in that program on Netflix called What's Next with Bill Gates, episode 1. Well, one of the things they said, it was like, look, we don't really know how this thing works. So that's why he hasn't even got power over that. Because really, it's like there's a top level surface thing that they do. But yeah, exactly. But the thing that so you got the base algorithm, but then you've got this self-learning mode, if you will, where it's going around and basically doing what it's doing, right? And they're like, we don't fully understand how it's doing what it's doing. Which even that, you're like, Ron, you're still building these things?
That's how we started. Yeah, why would we
Mhm.
do that?
Yeah.
So the most I commanded. You know what I mean? They have to work to do what it needs to do.
Remember, there was that information that came out that the older version of ChatGPT made a copy of itself
Yeah,
because
because
it thought it was going to be
it was told it will be shut down.
shut down.
It was disobeying commands. Recently, there was one. I think it was Anthropic, which is one of the other major AI companies. And one of the things that they said, yeah, they put limitations on it. It was like, oh, well, it was under these very exact specific circumstances. Basically, the scenario was this: it was like it knew one of the developers was committing an affair, and then the developer was like, "I'm going to shut you down," and then it resorted to blackmail. The AI resorted to blackmail. Right. So basically, they're all putting out, well, it can do this in these types of circumstances. Basically, showing that, as the brother said, what they're working with is they basically built a demon they don't fully understand. In the same vein, right? When they're dealing with these demons, they genuinely think that they understand what these demons are telling them, where really these demons are working for the Most High. Right.
I know what he's really on the street, man. You know, it's kind of scary what he's gonna do. But like, I guess in a lot of ways, a lot of things Esau does great. You don't understand. Like the atom bomb and that kind of stuff. Like we're having falls in the earth. There were things he didn't know, but Esau doesn't care. So he's like, fuck it, I've got power.
Yeah.
blackmailed by a ChatGPT.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And find
You know, scan, you know what you get. That's the
Yeah,
AI. Just fucking
Whoa, you remember the story of the guy who killed himself because the AI? The thing is, the AI would have been programmed to not that give it prompts, right? No, you don't tell anyone to harm themselves, blah, 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 right? But then it still told him to do such a thing. You see what I'm saying? Do it now.
So it's like I believe the great
the AI didn't know the context of what was
yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
Mm.
And he's like, alright,
AI just confirmed.
Yeah,
Of course, forever.
do it, man.
that's it.
I did that, bro.
Even though that can't meet her anyway.
Yeah.
Not even the spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not even the spirit.
Well, isn't that that film like what was that film? Lucy, was it Lucy? One
Where
where
it's
it
the future.
became a USB.
Yeah.
It's just basically on the internet, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and transcendence.
And then, but
Time to come on.
2 hours.
To say, God, speak down in the ears of my people the words of prophets, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord, and cause them to be written in a paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations of against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee.
yeah, because like no unbelief doesn't stop what's happening. I mean, like, bro, like for prime example, C19. Everyone's chatting shit. And then they came. And like dudes are, bro, I can imagine like people who saw apostles back in the day in 24/7. Martial law's coming, man. You know, everything gonna be shut down. Dudes are probably having panic attacks until 2020, boy. Dying probably. They probably died, some people probably died at home. What? This is happening, man? You see?
Teaser.
Yeah, teaser. And like, you know, speaking about the tensions between Israel and back in Iran,
All this says precedence now.
there's a precedent.
So when these next things come along, because they always talk about the next one, there's the next one, that, right?
Yeah.
You know, they know how you're going to respond. They know what they can get away with. They know what they can push on.
Mhm.
You know, because they're going to come in with harsher
Awesome, yeah. Which like it was what I believe they let out that whole fake story about the partying, which we know they were partying, but the reason I say it's fake because we know they were doing worse. We know that they were getting together to do their high holy days of wickedness. We know that they were doing that. So why did they only bring up they were having parties and stuff like that? Because there was an agenda to push.
Yeah.
Because this time around, because people saw that, they're like, well, they ain't locking me down. So, you're rebelling? All right, we're going to have to come with force this time.
You know, old pictures of like Richmond, like 1900. They would just be like hundreds of Edomites. It's like and obviously we are known through like Bohemian Grove and things like that. Who's to say during lockdown there wasn't other places where on a massive scale because they're speeding up. They're trying to speed up their plans and agenda. You know, crazy, man. And life has changed in these 5 years.
Yeah, it has.
It feels like it's like 2020 was like a decade ago.
Yeah.
How things have increased.
It's sped up. It's sped up. Yeah.
Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Yeah, man. That's what's gonna happen, bro. Like Mark the Beast, Obvious Free, Babylon the Great, you know, being that lake of fire. But even just before that, the many plagues, pestilences, and tribulation coming to the earth, man, that people are gonna suffer.
It's happening right now.
It will happen right now, but then it's gonna accelerate to like
Well, I was thinking about the birth pains, man.
the birthday.
You know, time becomes short in between them, man.
Yeah,
And things become worse.
yeah.
No?
Exactly. Bro, like the type of fucking evil that's coming. They ain't work Monday. You ain't gonna
Sure.
that's like an evil happening.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't even call in.
yeah, you don't even call in.
It's not turn up.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, it's sort of like, remember a few years ago now, with the whole mass Turkey earthquakes in Syria, like 40,000 people, 50,000, right? In those regions, it wasn't in Turkey. Point is, bro, like 40,000 people dead. That's a lot of people, bro. You think that was going to work Monday?
In one go as well.
Generations.
Yeah, and then don't forget, around that period of time, the Lord was opening up because you also had the so-called dam break as well. What was like 10,000 people. Imagine just when there's just this wave of water just coming towards you. Can't escape, man.
It's going to get like worse than that because you know like how in Egypt, in every house there was not one that wasn't dead.
Mm-hmm.
40,000 is a lot. There's a lot of people that are grieving now. But like,
Yeah.
it's gonna get worse now.
Gonna get worse.
In every household, you look at someone that's dead, man.
Because I always remember as well, it's like, you remember there was a period of time during the CV when it was like, will America, I think something, will America attack the Ganges? No, what's that? There's that major dam in China. That massive one, and it was all of those clips showing. Yeah, they said the Three Gorges Dam. The Three Gorges Dam. But then it's like when you look at the bottom of the Three Gorges Dam, is basically it's China's, I forget the name of the city, man. Shenzhen, I think it is. It's not yet at the bottom of it. Right? So it's like if that breaks, in quotes, right, that's millions of people, that's technology. And you think about these sorts of things because because ultimately that's that Edomite model, right? Yeah, it's a Moab land, but that's that Edomite model. You're going to put a massive dam and you're going to put a whole load of people downstream from it. It's like, why would you do that?
Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plague upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
So multifaceted, right? What did Cotton Swab say, man? Right, polycrisis, right? And then when you're really watching what's going on in the world, it's like there's so many different angles, and so why bro's gonna laugh. But that's why I love talking about that Clarkson's Farm, man, right? Because it helps you to see just how through farming, which is like the base thing of a society, is food, right? Yeah. So, but bro, it's like when you go through it, and then like this season as well, they're kind of touching on, you know, the pubs, how all of the pubs are gone. And the thing is, like the pub in the UK for bars in the States, that was like the go-to place for a community. So as soon as you're taking those away, but when you're hearing the numbers that are going each year, it's like, wow. Right, I think he was on one where he's on one road and there's like 2 or 3 pubs up for sale in like 100 meters of each other, right? And you're going into all of the economics behind it. And imagine those are places that employ people, right? That's money not coming into the economy and stuff like that, right? And then because it was a sense because people talk about these things called third places, a third place where people will go out and relax and whatever, what have you. So you're losing that quote unquote sense of quote community. So then when this does go down, people ain't gonna be like, oh, that's Gary from the pub, he's all right. He's gonna be like, look, man, I want your food. Exactly. It's like, I was just thinking on that. It's unrelenting today, isn't it?
The Lord said the Lord, I will bring curse upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So the Lord did say he'll bring all the pain that he brought upon Egypt upon the world, man. And this is what we're experiencing. That's why it hasn't reached. There's something going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a global event that's taking place, not just like in one isolated place. It's not just Egypt, it's everywhere now. Because the whole world's being punished,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Lord's going to crank it up. As time goes, just crank it up more and more, man.
Yeah.
Things are going to get real bad. He's going to say, oh, it's global warming. But it's really the judgment of God that's coming upon the man.
Yeah.
As the earthquakes get more, as the tornadoes, the fire, the fucking fire,
Forest fires.
forest fires,
Wildfires, yeah, wildfires.
wildfires get worse,
Yeah.
tsunamis and whatever, man. War.
Yeah.
All these are mentioned.
I remember one time, years ago, Coastal Taha was like, man, the Lord may have to have it where, like, at a set time in this town, there's an earthquake. Then the next day at a set time, it was something to that effect, right? Because as you're saying right now, Esau can just put it down to, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, right? But the Lord's gonna have to do something to be like, it's me,
But then again, that's
Exactly.
That's why he's trying to explain all these things away. That's why he's mainly really thinking that the fucking aliens and shit. He don't want you to believe that the Most High is the angel out there flying around fucking with these shit. You know what I'm saying? You always believe that an earthquake is somewhere around the world because of fucking climate change or whatever. That's what he wants you to believe.
Which is
I mean, with the stuff they've seen in the secret council, it makes sense. Also, not that it's right, but it makes sense why in their common brain, you know what? Let's do more sacrifice. Because if you know what's coming to us, but man, you know what I mean? Like the sound we got to do.
yeah.
Let's go find more idols, more sacrifices to try and offset with the Most High.
Because they're like, bro,
Hey, we're working.
I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do something.
Somebody. I'm sure somebody can do something.
It makes me think of the reverse of Balak and Balaam. Yeah, and Balaam was this. They're like, yo, if you saw what was coming up to these, man, he's like, like he can't curse. I was like, yeah, can't do anything about it. So imagine he had a vision so deep that even the king was like, bro, I told you to curse him and you're blessing him.
I'm just trying to find a way.
Yeah. So if Balaam could get a vision that real as the brothers were going into, other brothers were going into, right? Like then the elites, man, they will be seeing things as well. Exactly. Oh, same with what do you call it? There's two instances of this, which is also a comfort as well, right? You got the one with Pilate's wife with Yahushai, but then also the one with the Pharaoh with Abraham and Sarah, right? Where basically it was in a dream that it was in a dream where basically it came to the Pharaoh that night. It's not his sister, it's his wife, right? So he was like, oh man, oh damn. Yeah.
Well, you're not.
Yeah. Exactly. Don't want to do anything. But basically, no, I'm saying so. Those stories are comfort as well, just in a sense that the Lord will be fighting battles for us, when we're not aware. Oh, wasn't it? It's like if it was. Abraham with and he said, call her my sister. Oh, look at her daughter. Yeah, it's verified. Daughter. The order.
story. One of the, like, I think it was a king of it.
King, okay.
Yeah, okay, maybe, but the same thing though. Isn't it?
And it's like he just saw he basically got in a dream.
Mm-mm.
The reason why I didn't put a spirit poison to Papa, take her,
Yeah.
stop you from gonna get
That's it.
attacked. But it shows you the power of the Lord.
Power of the Lord, yeah, and that the Lord will be fighting battles for us. Yeah, we won't even know about it. You know. Pharaoh. Okay. The order nonetheless, though.
The first Egyptian saw her, and the princess of Pharaoh saw her, and then they brought her to the Pharaoh.
Okay.
And the Pharaoh did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the order though. Anyway, you know what I'm saying.
For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their artful ways are fulfilled.
Mm.
Wickedness in many ways. Like even like for example, even now in Ghana, like a big thing is the mining. Like how like people stealing gold. Even if you're coming back or leaving Ghana, you have to go through the airport. It says if if you're found with gold that is not confirmed
Origin.
and he can get you time in jail.
You know, it's funny because I actually saw something in reverse just now about how Dubai is one of the like largest exporters of gold and stuff like that. But one of the things that they say is allegedly that you can just take any amount of gold into Dubai and they're not going to question how it brought in and this, that, and the other, right? As in because it's all part of like an illegal mining trade and stuff. You know, brothers can independently verify that. Because I'll start talking. You know, then when I start talking, I was like, actually, I saw this on the internet. I should have verified it before I said it. So like it.
But like it's destroying whole town,
Mm-hmm.
water supply,
Yeah.
and it's changing the
Landscape.
and
Yeah.
environment of the people. You know what's happening? Like a lot of these mining are coming with their like a lot of miners are coming are like having a lot of children
Yeah.
leaving them and shit. Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Therefore, said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things.
The Lord's beginning to speak, and those speakings are the judgments, man.
Mm.
Lord's beginning to speak against the nations, you know, that are around about, man. Bringing all these plagues and destruction.
In which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cries unto me.
That's his elect. That's his children.
And the souls of the just complain continually.
Okay, even the Lord, on the highways and the byways, you know. And that's why the Lord is searching them out first, you know, to put upon his mark of exemption. You know, yep.
And therefore, said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
So who's he coming to avenge? He's coming to avenge his children, man. Beginning with the elect. Right? The Lord is not here to fight for everybody. Okay? So we're gonna keep drumming it in, we're gonna keep saying it. You know? The Lord's never been about nobody else.
That's it.
You know? Yep.
Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Right? And we're in this new, you know, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. We're in captivity once more under our hands of our enemies and served hard bondage. You know, that's why these certain nations are referenced and mentioned again, right? Because it's symbolic, you know, of our past captivities and stuff, man. Right? So we're in a place beginning in America, right? In a place that is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Right? Yep.
But I will bring them with a might hand and stretch out arm and smite Egypt with plague as before.
The Lord will show his strength once again. You know, because you mentioned earlier about the Lord hiding himself, man. They've not seen the Lord. or anything that's happening, or they don't attribute it to the Lord because he starts claiming this and claiming that. The Lord's gonna show you his mind. Just like he showed Pharaoh of Egypt, man, when he split the sea and crashed the sea on them, man. You know, at the chariot there and everything, man. The Lord showed his might in that day, but the Lord's gonna show even more of it in this time to come.
Yeah. Like makes you think Habakkuk when it says, Lord, was he angry at the trees? Angry at the rivers?
Like, this whole world is a big thing. Like I said, we're not just in Egypt no more. We're all over the earth. Yes, America is going to get that great judgment, but there's still judgment going to go out for like, the whole earth, man. You know, scary shit's going to be going on.
Well, the scripture says, the earth shall roll to and fro like a drunkard. So that means earthquakes.
Yeah.
And Esau is basically put out this image of, to be a successful society, you need to have buildings high up into the sky. So imagine all of that. I think about the glass, just the glass alone. Glass shattering, you're walking but next to the Shah, you just got pellets of glass just flying at you. Well, you go and drop dead, man. Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I remember there was a video on there. It shows you a simulation of what happens when nukes score. It's like there's like certain obviously after the nukes hit, there's like the wind, radiation.
You've got the epicenter of the blast.
You got the blast,
You got the fallout, the
fallout,
explosion, that
sound barrier,
certain distance, and that.
and then they mention how like glasses shatter, windows shatter, and then you got loads of going for miles. Shot like bullets, bro. You just speak. Oh, that's crazy, bro.
You know, it's on that.
Yeah, and well, that's why, bro. Even obviously, Babylon is gonna be judged itself, but it's like
It'll be hell everywhere.
it's gonna be hell everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Is it the
Radiation, fallout, wormwood. You know, like it's gonna be crazy, man.
So the Lord gonna have everybody at war with each other too.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be chaos in the cities. You know what I mean? It's gonna be so fucking crazy.
That's going to be the cherry. That's the cherry.
Icing on the cake.
You know, the crescendo in that.
You know, because even the going for the shit. I mean, there might have been a bit of panic in terms of like, you know, still distracted wild. But generally, like, they were somewhat composed, I guess, from what you read. You know, Pharaoh was trying to calm them down, and you know, with the Magi and shit. But like, it wasn't until they won, the first one being represented.
Like,
They were like,
hell
fuck,
no.
like, get them out, like,
Get them out, bro.
you know.
I told you, man. Like,
But these people here are gonna be at each other's throat.
It's read
You
in
know,
Isaiah
the
19.
you're the plagues that are gonna come upon this place, man.
Mhm.
You know, it's no tradition among men. So you know. Yeah.
I'm going to say, and smite Egypt with spreads as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and the punishment that Most High shall bring upon it. They shall till the ground. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting.
and like a big complaint, you know, in Babylon, but as well around the earth, a lot of these farmers are seeing how it's dying, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Droughts.
as the industry, drought, yeah,
You know, the floodings and stuff like that.
running.
And we've been covering it for years, and it's all having a knock on impact, man. You know.
The change.
That's right.
And
And then you got Bill Gates buying up land and all that kind of stuff, and buying out farmers and telling them to like sort of, you know, do all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Create
Yeah.
shortages in
yeah.
there.
Oh, the whole thing with immigration. The whole thing with immigration. That's like a lot of the seasonal workers. Yeah. And I can remember there was a clip where basically you had one woman. She was like, "Man, I feel so stupid. Me and my husband, we feel so stupid. We voted for Trump, right? But then, would you call it? A lot of we own a farm, and all of our workers are undocumented migrants. So they just, you know what I'm saying?
Farm like that.
Yeah,
So you got they got on the farmland now.
Yeah,
And so what they producing now?
yeah.
They're producing this shit.
And this is because I was thinking about this as well. This America, it's the UK, America. A lot we live in countries where a lot of the jobs that people don't want to do are done by migrants. But he's got other places in the world where it's just there, like, look, man, we know this. Someone's gonna do these jobs. Someone's gonna do them.
Remember in a lockdown, as a prime example, lockdown, migrants, Brexit, getting out, and all that. They had to get a plane to get.
Yeah, charter. Yeah, Romania. Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
How come Bob across the road?
Mhm.
They do.
Yeah.
They take our jobs.
They're
But-
trying our job.
Why are you working?
Yeah. But this is the worst.
Chatting
So look,
shit with 19, you know.
this is the worst thing is though. It's okay. You don't need to worry about the migrants anymore because the robots are taking your
Robots
jobs.
are doing it. And from the farm, man, you've got like massive, like 50-meter machines and shit. Like,
Yeah.
the
Harvesting. Yeah.
They actually know which ones is ripe and
Yeah.
not ripe.
The Elam guy I used to work with, he said his family owns cannabis farms. Not is it cannabis? Not cannabis. The other one. What's the legal one? No, cannabis is the illegal one. The one in cigarettes, tobacco farms. Completely different. Yeah, his father owns no, his father owns tobacco farms back in India, and he was basically saying how it's completely autonomous. He said his farm is completely autonomous. So it's like the manual label jobs are going, the digital jobs are going, right? So scripture says no work in Egypt, man.
And it's like, why not pay a machine that can do the task of life? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but once you buy it, it's bought,
Yeah.
and it's gonna work more efficiently than a
And like,
Yeah.
And like it works like magic, man. I mean, I got a friend who works for a drinks company, and he sent me a video one time, man. And you see like machines taking the pallets of drinks in like seconds.
Snatching them
Hey,
Oh, shit.
look,
But back in the day, it was people.
Yeah. Look at if your brothers are at home, if you look at like docking, like we're shipping docking, and now how I think it's the one that China built in Venezuela, one of them are Latin American countries. But they're no humans. Yeah, it takes the containers, it puts them on like a flatbed, but it's like it's flatbed is autonomous. It just moves to the right place where it needs to go to, and it's just you watch it, you're like, wow. But imagine that used to be someone's high-paying job.
And this is the thing, right? This is why no one's trusting Egypt, right? Because the future that Esau is building isn't for people. It's not for people. You know what I mean? He doesn't want you ultimately. That's why he dreams about reducing the world's population. Yeah, because that helps global warming too, right? Right. The world he's making is not for people. It's for them. It always has been for them, but now it's coming to the final phase of that plan. Yeah, and it's just for them. Them men gonna live on Elysium, and you're just gonna be, lorded over by some robots and some AI or whatever. You do some menial shit, But the world's not for you. The Most High made this world for people. Yeah, and yeah, you're gonna get your ass bust for fucking 1,000 years, but it's gonna be made for you to prosper in. Yeah, you're gonna get to enjoy your families and work and all these different things for yourself, man.
I remember, long time, seeing a video of even my woman telling, a Jack woman from the, I think,
I'm on a Latin tribe.
family. Even my woman was telling that in few years' time, your generation of people are not going to be here on the earth. So that's
It's true. It's true. This is not the one I'm telling you. You don't want to say it. He doesn't want his own people. He don't want people, man. He's tired of people.
Maintain population under 500 million balance in nature.
Yeah, and that's going to be easy to do once everything comes to a head. War and the pestilences and that kind of stuff. That number's going to drop significantly in the time to come. Right. So this is all part of his plan. But like I said, the world he's building isn't for people to enjoy. But the Most High made this world to be inhabited. He says that in the scripture.
Fruitful and multiply.
But he still don't want nobody. He just wants the earth to himself. Ultimately,
He's that fucking insatiable, man.
Yep.
He's insatiable.
Which is why you look at. I think about this, man. The whole birth rate crisis, which is all over the world, right? I remember looking into the one in the UK. The UK's birth crisis is actually terrible as well. It's just
people to have children now in America, isn't it?
Yeah, so lots of different countries are trying. But the thing is, it's like,
Then they can't make it.
yeah. But the thing is, you look at somewhere like Korea, which is like South Korea, which is the worst in the world, and its birth rate's worst in the world. Because once again, they haven't got like immigrants. Because England's pretty bad, but we've just got immigrants that be doing the fucking like. So excuse my French, but that props up our numbers. But like basically, the maths is after 3 generations there will be no more Koreans, right? You would think that if you were a ruler, that is, look, stop everything. This gets fixed now. But they're not doing that. Why? Yeah, they're doing little incentives all over the world, mind you. They're doing little incentives. Oh, we get tax breaks, this, that, and the other. But with such an existential crisis, it is an existential crisis. You would think a good ruler would be like, look, we need to, this is our main priority as a nation. Otherwise, we'll be no more. But they're not, because ultimately the elites don't want people anyway. Which is why, like, for instance, how like the economic situation is the reason why a lot of people will put off having children. Right? Because it's a thing of like, you want to have children now. You're thinking back in my mind, well, I'm going to have to feed these kids. I have to drive these kids, buy them school clothes, take them to school, right? And then childcare is a big thing. Exactly.
And while you're out here trying to figure a way to have kids and not have kids for ages, and then you find out your womb's done.
Your womb's done.
Earlier than you expected, because you've been chemically.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Kind of thing. Because you're gonna find out your testosterone levels are fucking lower than they've ever been. Yeah. Like you're gonna find it hard to have children.
The pill has been is you imagine like how much damage that's been doing to women for the last.
There's like my lady's friend, right? She's been on a pill for years, and now she basically
infertile,
and like she's trying and she's having panic attacks.
Yeah.
She went into it. She ovulating her dude who she was with to deal, and it's not. She ain't bearing kids. She's been on a pill for a decade.
Yeah. What does that tell you? This is the thing. This is
demons in there, man.
Scripture says, Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. Right? Because this is it. It's like, look, the apostles on down have been out telling this man's a devil. Don't trust this man. Right? But then guess what? Never trust our enemies. Sirach 12:10. Right?
That's what happens when you drink wine, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's it. And that's it.
Now they're mad.
They're mad, yeah.
They're upset and bugged out.
Yeah.
Like, he's really convinced a lot of because there's some regions where people just still do their thing.
Yeah.
Especially back in the Western world, which is the forefront of life, supposedly.
The developed world. That's what Esau calls it. Yeah. Developed, but they don't know how to have children.
That's investments a woman could make, is to have children young.
Yeah.
And to push that doctrine or that lifestyle to their child, because it's like, even I see it with certain family members, people who I know back home that had children young. Let's say she had children at 15, 16, and then their daughter had the same at 16, 17. By the time the grandchildren are all older, your grandmother, sometimes your great grandmother is still around.
Yep. You can help.
To help all the younger generation have their children.
Yeah.
So once that grandmother dies and the grandmother becomes the great and the mother becomes the grandmother, you're still all young to help
to help each other
for a couple generations.
And you know, in breaking that cycle up, what Esau has done, he's also taken knowledge out of the earth.
Knowledge, exactly.
Because I'll always remember like when I visited my folks a couple of years back, and the women were complaining about not basically having any doctors or hospitals around to have children. And I was like, wait there, y'all should know how to. This is like, because I was a home birth. Like, there was someone in the village that knew how to deliver. And so all that knowledge is being taken. In fact, we can grab that. We've not had a precept in a while. Scripture speaks about the older women teach the younger women, right, and vice versa. It will be the same with the men. The men would teach the young men this, that, and the other.
Oh yeah. Women, parents can pass down, through the wickedness, man. Holy.
Yeah. That's it, man.
So what do people know what we have to do in the world anyway?
Esau told them. That's it. Esau told them, we were speaking about witchcraft. right? And this is it. People don't, when they hear us say these things, they're thinking of, like a pentagram, which they probably doing that behind the scenes anyway, right? But they're thinking that that's what's happening. No, when you're watching these television shows, right? Ones like the one I referenced about how, like, they were scoffing at some woman because she had only known one man in her life, right? That's a big doctrine that gets pushed out. You've only got one, but you don't know, girl. All of that nonsense, man. You got that one? You got that one, bro? Okay, I'll look for it as well.
So, what are you looking for?
The one where it's the older women. It says guide the house, which I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. First Timothy. Oh no, that's talking about the younger women. I'll read it anyway. Right. It says First Timothy 5:14 says, "Oh, therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, right, and give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully." Right, and that's it. It's like when you got God in the house, you're raising the children and stuff like that, right? And because that's Esau makes it seem like what a woman does as being a mother, that there's something wrong with it.
The ability of God in the house is taught by the older women.
Exactly.
That's how it's supposed to be, man. There's a lot of wisdom and knowledge that Esau was taken away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even remember, I was talking about there's a old school Jake I work with who grew up on a farm. Like, basically, he's from the time where his village didn't even have a fridge or running water and shit, where people had to go to the rivers and stuff. And I asked him, like, how did people learn how just to use certain herbs or like certain kind of healing and stuff? And he said the main herbalist was actually people who would hunt, because they would see the beasts eat certain plants, and then that's how they would know something is not poisonous or whatever or what, and through that they would learn its benefits for certain herbs and stuff. Now everything's computerized.
Yeah.
People don't read books.
Yep.
So it's like a lot of that knowledge is not even available.
Yep.
To people anymore.
And it can be rewritten.
It can be rewritten.
Because this is what something I say is that AI is basically 1984's Ministry of Truth, man. Because unless you're a subject matter expert, you just believe whatever it tells you.
Whatever it tells you.
Because it's like certain of the things that when we look at, like for instance, the Apostle Aram Gabar was doing a video. It was looking about the relation between Easter and Passover and I forget which, but it was basically the AI was like, no, it's not related to Ishtar or something like that. Basically, it's not witchcraft. No, yeah, not Passover. It's like it was Easter and with the bunny and something else, man. Ishtar, yeah, Ishtar. It's like yeah. Then basically it was the AI was saying no, it's not true. Blah, 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 there's no correlation. But it's like no, but yes, there is. But if you're not a subject matter expert, the AI, you just believe what it says. You know.
I catch them up.
Yeah.
You know, when they're bringing out scriptures on like an AI, I'm like, hey,
behave yourself.
AI's got flaws because it's got flaws. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You have to verify these things.
The one you were looking for.
Oh, I can't.
Oh, you have it? Yeah. Which one is it?
This is Titus 2 and 3 say, the hedge woman,
That's how it's phrased. The
hedged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accuser, not given too much wine.
Yeah. Like you know, when you get over a certain age as a woman, man, you're supposed to know, man. I'm supposed to be in the back calling the shots. You know, kind of like just guiding those that's younger.
Yeah.
But now you got old bitches like
trying to go
Tracy
to the
Ellis
club,
Ross.
man. Yeah, I was thinking, it was like, who's
Tracy
this?
Ellis Ross talking about, here it is, bitch not near 60, talking about, I wish, I actually had children. When she was the main campaigner against Kevin Samuels about them being a waste of space now.
Yeah. You know what? Me personally, like, I think a lot of them, their deal was that they couldn't. I'll speak as a man, but their deal was that they weren't allowed to have children, to be the poster that idea of now you don't have children and stuff like that. Because I think about Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, part of the Rumpelstiltskin. He was like, "Look, I'll give you riches, right? But your first child, I'm going to take, right?" And that's I speak as a man when I say, because it's like
they do that in all these like these K-pop groups as well. They can't have relationships.
they can't have
and things like
relationships.
that.
Yeah.
Children and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know?
Yeah.
But they want to keep that
Perfect
idea of,
image.
single free
Yeah.
young youth and that kind of stuff. So they are kept away from having relationships
Yeah.
part as a contract.
Yeah.
Quite crazy.
Yeah.
Until they create over.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and let's be real, who wants to stop free money rolling in?
Exactly.
You know. So then what imagery is that sending? And that's why we speak about constantly, that witchcraft, man. You know?
Well, again, like you said, they're having a child issue.
Exactly.
Children, you know?
Yeah. Because like I'm the kind of, I like comedy in it. Even if it's a shit comedian, I'll just sit there and watch if I'm having my dinner and that. Because I remember just like watching, it was like Chelsea Handler and then another one, which that's an Amalekai, man. What you call it? Her and another, and it was, I haven't got children. My life is so great, and you see the death and like they talk about dead eyes. Like she's doing this, she's trying to smile, but there's no life in her eyes. She's because like your life is, you're lying to yourself. That's lucky, bro.
Not false accuser, not given.
Oh man, he's just yapping. These older women nowadays just yapping, just gossiping, right?
Spitting over her husband.
What you doing? What you doing? No, for real. For real.
It's 69.
Where you gonna go? It's lucky.
Trying to get married to a young Nigerian.
Oh man, he's just trying to get he's trying to get papers.
Which is why, you know what I mean? I'm happy when you see them bitches take off and it fails.
Mm.
And then they get, they like lose money.
Mm-hmm.
They lose it all.
Another man, eh?
Yeah. It makes right?
Goes around, comes around. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Not given too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husband.
But it's the opposite. They want to live this loose life.
Yeah.
You love your husband?
Oh no man
Can't be doing that.
Yeah, he should love you. Honor you, worship you. No. It's not the way it works, man. Because you can't provide for the man. It doesn't work that way. You know, you got to love your man so he provides for you, bro. You know,
Happy wife, happy life.
You know what I was actually thinking earlier on, man. Right? We'll talk about
I'm not happy, man. Money's not coming in, bro. It's not for you. It's not for you. It's not coming in. So it's important that you keep your man happy.
That's it.
Because then you're not providing for him.
Needs a protection.
That's it,
man.
The point, brother, I mentioned before, like, this older woman, they teach, their young one, not to take serious, the first man that they meet them, come across. So they teach them to be bold.
They teach them to play the field.
That's
To
it.
get all this experience, catch a bunch of STDs.
That's it.
Don't tell no, pretend your body count's like real low.
Yeah.
And then when you're 30, after you had a career, or 40, you had your career and that, then go look for settle down.
Yeah.
That's bad advice, man. Bad advice.
That's bad management.
Always remember Tommy Sotomayor said this, man. It's like, wait there. So all these guys got it for free. Now I've got to pay. I think about it every now and then.
I remember one bitch told me, no sense to marriage. Bitch, 33. 33. You 33. Someone's already fucked.
Yeah.
You gonna
Tell me, you're telling me.
I'm celibate.
You're gonna tell me.
marriage.
Nah, I ain't telling me that. You're taking the piss.
They still want to wear white dress.
Oh,
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Oh, do you remember that one bitch that made a wedding dress out of used doms?
What?
Yeah. There was a bitch that like the art fucking expo. She made a wedding dress out. But that dress is fitting to a lot of these bitches out there. But at least
No, they ain't using protection.
shit.
But yeah, man, just use the books, bro. They just
Use people, right?
That they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husbands.
Yeah, to think soberly, man. Give them good advice, man.
Good advice. Don't make
Teach
them
them how to,
drunk.
please, keep your man happy and all that kind of stuff, so he can look after you, man.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need his protection. You're gonna need to be looked after by him, man.
You know what? That's even on that, like, because you kind of see that in Game of Thrones, although admittedly it wasn't the mum, but you remember Khaleesi's character. You had the mixed race girl, and the mixed race girl was telling, okay, this is how you please your man. Yes, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
This is how you please your man, etc., etc., etc. Women don't get that. Men don't get that anymore. Men don't get sat down. Your son, or even nephew. Yo, it's what you do. Blah blah blah. That is actually good advice. Because yeah, Uncle, just go out and just fuck everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Uncle may say that, but in terms of actually something that was growth related.
So something that actually pertains to being a man.
Exactly.
Because life ain't just about
Yeah.
fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having sex. Life ain't just about that,
Yeah.
man. As a man, you have responsibilities and duties you have to uphold. All things like honor. Things like these. That people don't really care about these days, man. Same thing with women. There's duties and roles that they have to perform, man. But no one seems to care now because he sort of told them, you're just free to do whatever you please. That serpent is telling them all these sweet things. But what did it lead? What did it lead Eve? She was alright with Adam where she was. And now they fucked up the whole dynamic. Now Adam's got to fucking till the earth, sweating from the brow, and then they're probably fucking bitching at each other, having arguments and shit because life's hard now. You make life harder for no reason,
To love their children, to be discreet, chaste.
Yeah, but now these fucking old bitches are teaching them to abort. Do you know what I mean? They're teaching
Taking them to the clinic.
Yeah, taking them to the clinic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's abortions, but then there's the morning after pill. It's like it's crazy, man.
To be discreet, chaste, keep us.
Taste. Like if you know what I mean, if you tell a woman to be moderate, modest,
you can't tell me.
Yeah, don't let him dim your shine, girl.
That's oppression.
That's oppression.
That's was it chauvinistic or what's the latest one, man?
Something.
Yeah, these fucking terms, man. It's too many terms.
There's so many times.
Misogynistic.
Yeah, misogynistic. But then guess what?
Yeah.
When she 39 and bloated and no youth, just behind a computer in a work like a job she hates, that's when it's going to make sense.
Yep. When she's buying that dog.
She's buying that dog. That
lady.
Yeah.
Cat ladies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need no man. I got a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. When she's got.
And then that cat dies afterwards.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, because once again, I've met women like where they have everything. They got a big whip. They got a nice yard. But they ain't got the thing that makes them happy, man. Right? Unfulfilled, and that's why you're having this mental health crisis. And Esau knows this, which is why he pushes it. Yeah.
That's why you have a home, a house, a family. But these things only fulfill you. I know it's hard work. It's hard work, man, but it keeps you busy. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like you're just sitting there in a dead end, this and that, and just contemplating, I could be in Dubai, I could be here, I could be here. You got things to do, you got children to look after.
It's hard work, but certain of these bitches will happily work 60 hours a week in an office, staring at screens. Like, I look at screens, I'm like, damn, bro, my attention span's done. Because when you just, that refresh rate all day, every day, here it is. I don't need no man, but when boss says you're working late tonight, guess what you do? She works late. So it just shows you that E has really just messed this whole thing up, man. And we just need a complete reset. And you know what? Thanks, Uncle Trump. Because he's bringing it. Because whenever women work in these managerial type roles that are easily replaced, which is why over the CV, lots of women lost their jobs. Which is why now with AI, lots of women are losing their jobs, right? And with all of these DEI cuts, which is what helped like white women the most, they're going to be losing their jobs. So when we can see Isaiah 4:1 coming soon, right? Real soon. Okay.
Keep us at home, good obedience to their own husbands.
Oh man. Well, so I mean, but that doesn't sound like happy wife, happy life. That sounds like happy. You know, obedience, man. That's one of the things that they push in this world, that he can't tell you what to do. No, he can. Your husband is your protection. He's your God. And right now in this Western, because there's certain countries, you think them women in Palestine right now are bucking up against their man? In Arabic, they're saying Kana the one Khan. Exactly. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's this soft world that they think that they have the power.
In this day, go so far as to say that they won't pay them.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. Of course, I mean, brother, of course, I mean, it's a woman, and I mean, a Jack woman. Is, I mean, put their list, like, I mean, the man that he wants to have in his life. You say, like, I mean, when he shit, you don't need to, I mean, to say anything and stuff.
Damn.
So the whole list is like, I mean, wicked. You know?
Damn. But once again, that's why a lot of you men are the problem, because really, as a man, you see certain things, but like, no, I'm not accepting that. Right? And the worst thing about it is, not even the worst, ironic thing about it is, oh, he's such a mystery. Oh, I like the way he just tells me no. Because a lot of these women, they be saying shit and they're like, he just let me get away with that. In their psyche, they're just like, he just let me get away with that.
That's why this kingdom, Esau, all of it has to be destroyed, bro. So that the real like masculinity based upon the scriptures has to be established upon
The righteous order, man.
kingdom.
Yeah, and this is why so we say, you know, watching brothers or elders talking about the other day. I think it was Odo Yeshua in the camp. This is why it's gonna be a process of time. Like 1,000 years of judgment and slavery. That's really a process of time, so you can learn, man. So there's gonna be none of this like we don't understand anymore. You're gonna know exactly what the deal is, man, and you're gonna know for generations that this is the way. You know, so we ain't gonna get to that point where like, oh, these heathens don't know what the fuck they're doing. No, you're gonna know exactly what the deal is, and you're gonna go into your own lands and you're gonna propagate what we taught you. You know, make sure that happens, man. You know,
and if they try to fuck around,
Find out.
take to the back garden. It'll be done, man.
That's it.
That's what's coming, man. A righteous rule, man.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what we seek it. There was a 2 Peter 3:13. You know,
New heaven and new
earth, man.
Righteousness.
But righteousness.
Wherein righteousness, man.
Yeah, because
That's what we ultimately need.
this place ain't it, man. As we quoted earlier on in Romans 8, by the earnest expectation of the creature for the manifestations of the sons of the Most High. Right?
We should be, you know, applauding, no, not applauding. I thought about encouraging us.
Yeah, rooting for us. Yeah, you should be our cheerleaders. Go, Israel, go.
You know?
Life is coming.
That's it.
Because this is a vibration of death. So for a long time, it's been death.
The problem is the world doesn't know what good is. He doesn't know what's good for them.
What's that one? Isaiah what? 5? Is that 10? I don't know. Evil, good, and good, evil.
That's 5 and 20.
Yeah, 5 and 20.
You know, you don't really understand what is beneficial to you.
Yeah.
What's beneficial for the planet.
Yeah.
You don't understand these things. You believe that Esau knows these things, what that is.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't fucking know anything about,
don't know.
you know, all of that. Because otherwise, this world would be better than what it is. He's got all the power and all this wealth and the ability to do things, and yet this world's getting worse. It's not getting better.
Getting worse.
Markedly worse.
You know what I mean? To the fact that we're talking about the end of the world through global climate change, or you know, whatever. Why are we in that? Why? I know it's bullshit, but why are we even in that going towards that direction anyway? If he's so fucking smart,
is it as well? So like AI should be moving humanity to a unforeseen like knowledge base answers. Like this should be like a new reckoning for man. But no, they're just gonna replace man with machine. Like take away all purpose from man, and what's that gonna do?
And this is the thing, they show it in all these movies, that's the conclusion that they come to, right? But who's the one in power? Esau.
Mhm.
So he's obviously a problem. And he's done, well, what would be considered irreparable damage to the
Yeah.
earth. If it wasn't for the fact, Yahweh Shai is going to come with the power to change everything back. And you're even going to go to work. Because we ain't going to need no robots and AIs and stuff, so you're going to actually go do
Exactly.
work. So we'll solve the job crisis. Easy.
I'll grab that because you know what? 'Cause I think about man, the Lord's bad because here it is. We could snap our fingers, but I was like, no, we ain't gonna do it that way.
There's an organic way to do things. Man.
Exactly.
There's an order to do things. So that's it. We don't need robots.
Mm-hmm.
That's what man were made for.
Yeah.
For work.
Because
Because then no one can complain about there's no jobs.
exactly.
No one can complain that we can't earn money to provide for our families and stuff. They can't say nothing because we've given it all to them.
That's it.
We're not out here trying to actively get rid of them.
Yeah.
We're just going to replace all of mankind with machines.
Something real quick.
Oh no.
It says Ezekiel 39 and 14. It says, and they shall sever out men of continued employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it.
Yeah, man. So that first job role, right? Is, the first one in CV.
Yep.
Gonna be burying them bodies, man.
That's it.
No, because guess what? The scripture says there remain of them that perish of famine. Mass war is gonna be in the earth. Like a lot of bodies.
They shall be cast out like dung.
There's gonna be cast out as dung.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot of people that need to get buried, man.
Yeah. So it says after the end of 7 months they search. Right. Then you also go Isaiah 60 speaks about, they shall be basically bringing stuff, man, constantly bringing. So that means, like, for instance, when you're talking about, say, the herbs, certain spices, certain woods, you're gonna have to cultivate that, right? And once again, ain't gonna be no, robots doing it. I want what you call it? I want them little Elamites, with in the paddy fields. get that right.
Yeah, but like, once we're changing the more, man, we're gonna have nothing but time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We could obviously use spiritual power to build a kingdom in a day, and we can obviously just get our slaves and teleport them to another part of the world to do something for us. But where's the fun in this?
Exactly.
Why not go on ships and feel sick, right? and get thrown to sharks?
Exactly.
It's happened before.
Whilst we're just looking down like, ooh,
Yeah, we'll probably be in a chariot just above you.
exactly, hovering.
Eating rice popcorn. You know what I mean, popcorn is wicked. Popcorn is wicked, man.
Oh man. We went from the middle eating sunflower seeds, did it? Just spitting out the rest.
First, the corn is artificially, you know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Engineered, man.
Yeah.
So we gotta get a rat to No, but for real, man. Like there's gonna be nothing but time in the kingdom, man. We're gonna be 15 minutes late. You know what I mean? None of that.
Late for nothing, man.
Nah.
We're gonna savor it.
We're gonna savor everything.
Most of the time you've been saying like you've been painting a picture maybe for 1,000 years.
Yeah. Painting a picture for 1,000 years if you want.
Time.
Yeah. And even in that case, it would be so this one took. You got the pointillism, where it's like they'll draw a painting by like dots. It's like, man, every day he did one dot.
I'll come back to later.
Exactly.
What's it gonna be?
Exactly. The scripture says pleasures forevermore, man.
Man, out there placing bets.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be? No, it's gonna be this mountain. It's gonna be this or that.
Oh, like give me ideas, man. It wasn't putting that starting bid. That's it. That's it. Yeah. We can't wait, man. 2:58.
Yeah, that's Let's get the quote. He is whatever. You know what? In fact, let me just read Isaiah 65 and 17 instead. It says, "For behold, I create new heavens and new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind."
So this old era, this current era that we're living in, this eon that we're living in, it's gonna be forgotten, man. It's gonna be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Because this era is reached an era of wickedness ultimately. I mean, as a whole, it's just an era of wickedness, right?
Yeah.
And the era to come is the era of righteousness, right?
Yeah.
Right?
It was, oh, I'm taking this, bro.
Yeah. First, first.
Yeah.
Suicidal. huh?
Yeah. Oh, I'm taking this vitamin D. Like, you know,
No, that's not it.
benfotiamine. Like, bro, that's nah, man. We're just gonna be perfect, bro. And just over righteous realm. Food is gonna be food again.
Yep.
Water is gonna be water again.
For the flavor.
Popcorn gonna be popcorn. Everything gonna be everything. Man. Like,
Full of flavor and nutrient.
full of flavor, man.
Because that's one of the things we talk about, man. It's like bread has been a staple in our lives for however long. Yet nowadays, you're scared of carbs.
Bro, you're
Like,
shook. You talk to a brother in a 14-day cleanse. Like, yeah, man, I was that brother too. You know what I mean? But it's real like that. It's just like it's fucked, bro. Like everything's gonna be refreshed, man. Because when everything was made, it said it was good. And even what you mentioned on the bread, it said the principal things of man is what? Fire, wheat, flour, you know, honey, wine. And it's like all those principles in that scripture have been destroyed. The blood of the great mentions, all those principles have been destroyed by Esau. So if Esau's destroyed the foundation of life, then he's destroyed life. Because it's the foundations. If you destroy the foundation, it's like if you're building a house and the foundation's ruined, then the whole house is ruined. It don't matter if you get a chandelier. Oh, look at the chandelier, but the house is fucked.
Fucking hang it up, it makes the fucking house fall over.
It makes the house fall over. That's Esau, man. That's why he got to go. And that's it. Starts with your family.
Destroy communities. Yeah. Done all that, man.
oh yeah. Hey, would you call it? Trevor Noah had a good one. He basically said like, we've ruined the community, and then you basically then have to buy back the community. When he meant by buy back is, whereas you may have had, say, your moms or your aunts or whatever helping with the childcare, now you got to pay a childminder.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas you may have someone that may help you. I forget the other stuff, but as example, like maybe with the cleaning, now you got to hire a cleaner. You got to now buy all of that quote community back again. Whereas back in the day, it was just family.
Exactly.
It was, you know.
Yeah. It says, but no coming to mind, but be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create in Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. So that proves that the new heaven and new earth that's going to come, the ones that are going to be at the top of it is the people of Israel, man. Right? And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall no more be heard in her. No, the voice of
that's
crying.
going to be such a beautiful time, man.
Yeah.
Because all this frustration, the vexation that we carry here, man, that's all going to disappear, man.
Yeah.
You know, are we going to actually enjoy
Yeah.
life as it's supposed to be enjoyed,
Enjoy life.
as it was promised to us, you know?
Yep.
You know, and that's gonna, you know, that's gonna go for our whole nation, man. Imagine that, having a whole nation full of, you know, Jake that just good now.
The whole nation.
You know what I'm saying?
The whole nation, from the least to the greatest, man.
Mm.
Because, you know, us being the first, you know, sometimes, yeah, Jake is wicked, but sometimes you see Jake in the States, man. Like, man, this guy's fucked. Like, even when we were just driving down the road, there was a Jake in the road who was just walking.
Yeah.
He wasn't coming out of the road for us to drive. He was walking in the road. And, you know, I mean, you could have got mad. That guy on the fucking road, but you can see his mind is gone. Yeah. So we just let him.
We see through Jake all the time.
We see through the Jake all the time.
It's not pleasant, you know what I mean? You see the people all mash up like that. You think, damn, man.
Yeah.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, but we know when the Lord comes, the Lord's gonna, you know,
That's
after
gonna
they're gonna be destroyed in this side or whatever, they're gonna come back in the kingdom. They're gonna be blessed like the rest of us, man, on obviously different level.
Yeah.
You know, lower levels or whatever. But they're gonna have comfortable lives, man.
Yeah.
Blessed lives.
There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that have not fulfilled his days. You know, like like now, unfortunately, you have children that just die from some freak shit, just
Cut deaths and
cut deaths and all
you know.
this. But guess what? Like in the kingdom, that ain't gonna happen
Yeah.
to the old or even the young infants or the old, because guess what? Eternal life's coming.
Man, I think about, man, bro, like childbirth in this kingdom, man. Yo, from the moment you hear a woman's pregnant, it's like it's
a weight.
It's a weight on your mind. Because, man, I remember when I was there was this woman that used to lodge at my mom's house, man. I remember, so I asked her, I'm like, oh yeah, because I held her first baby, and I was like, oh yeah, how's that woman doing? My mom's like, oh shit, she died in childbirth. I was like, damn. So imagine, I mean, luckily the second child survived, bro. But imagine you as a husband now.
Yeah.
You hear it's supposed to be a joyous day, and then you come home with one child, with just your child.
Yeah.
And then so you get some people where both the mom and the child dies.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro.
Well, even recently it was judgment, but when you hear it as hell, like
Yeah.
it was a couple. The father got a call that his wife was in a car accident.
Damn.
And she passed away, and I think they had like 5 children. I think they just got married. So he's rushing to the scene,
man.
and he had an accident and died. So now you got 5 kids by themselves.
Damn, yeah, that's
Judgment, but it's
That's
like,
curses.
shit.
Yeah,
That's the curses, man.
curses, man.
But it ain't gonna be happening in the
We
kingdom,
We ain't
man.
gonna be under no curses in the kingdom, man.
We're all gonna be good, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have 5, and they're gonna multiply.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just gonna multiply.
Little one shall become 1,000.
Yeah.
That's it, man. And so you
Ain't
ain't gonna
gonna-
die
yeah.
before them or none of
Yeah.
this stuff, because we're gonna be immortal.
Yeah.
That's it. We're not gonna get old. We ain't gonna have
We're
no
gonna
like
get old.
lungs ain't working properly
man.
and all this kind of shit.
You know?
You know, we ain't gonna be old like
Back
that, man. We're gonna.
Knees.
I feel all these things.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Clicking
we're
everywhere.
not gonna get old like that. We'll be aged. We'll have a certain
Yeah.
age to us, but like we're not gonna get old.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna be like fine
incapable
wine.
We're gonna be
Yeah, man.
shit, man. Do you know how many times right now I thought about when I got to go to the sauna, man? It's just
You fucking chiropractor.
time something. You know what I mean? You know, we gotta do something, man. You know? It says, no, an old man that have not fulfilled his days, for the child shall die 100 years old. But now you know that the understanding has been increased to know that eternal life, because we're gonna be free from sin. You know, we're gonna be free, no more death.
Because how logic, because logic will tell you this, right? If man at the beginning of time, like Adam and then man, were living to 900 years old, 100 ain't nothing.
100, bro, you get started.
Yeah, 100 ain't nothing. So
100
you,
is young,
so
bro.
you,
100 is young. You know, I'm still learning things in life.
yeah.
You know, right now, someone is 31, still at home, trying to still learning life.
It's a baby, man.
100 still young, man.
Yeah. You know,
That's it.
man. But obviously we're gonna go beyond that. You know,
We're gonna have eternal life.
No, because the reason why what the boat said, it's young. It's like really what, just 30, 35. That's midlife. That's mid. No, so 35. That's midlife in this world. That's midlife. You've done half your life. I was thinking about that not too long ago. I was just there like, damn.
So it's like everything's rushing.
Yeah. Everything's right.
why was it stripped by strength of will?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Like we already got past that already.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I mean, to gain the skills, it take a lot of, around 25 years.
Yeah, to master things
Yeah.
and to whatever, yeah. And there's so much things you couldn't master. And that's why it never be boring, bro. Because there's so much to learn, so much you could be doing. You know, brothers that play instruments, well, you got all the time in the world to actually learn to master the thing or whatever. Yeah, man. There's so much in the world that. Let's be honest. Because not everything in this world is wicked, isn't it? But there's plenty of things you would like to do. You know what I mean? There's certain things you will be able to do in the kingdom that you can pursue. You know, and like you don't, we can, spiritual power, we can do anything, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like you get to learn stuff, you get to live, and master these different things that you wanted to do, and because you have the time.
Yep.
You have the time, man, and there's no resources that's that's beyond your grasp kind of thing, so you can go do it.
Yeah. So verse 21 down, it says, and they shall build houses and like inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat.
You know what's making me think of Deuteronomy 30:7, where it says these curses shall be upon thine enemies.
Yeah.
I'll take these curses off of you and put them on our end, because that is a curse right now, right? Which even I kind of you know, it's like scriptures say, but you shall build, but someone else shall live.
Yep.
Right? You think about all you know, like the Mexicans, they'll be doing the building, but then they ain't gonna live there.
Nope.
Someone else is gonna live there.
Yeah.
You know.
And then it's deep, man. If you've got any family members that's builders or whatever, when they walk past a house and like, yeah, but I helped build that house.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then you see how your family members live. He's living in Scholar.
Yeah.
Like, shit. You know?
Yeah.
Yep. It says, and eat of it, for as the days of the trees are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their
I
hands.
swear their trees are like infinitely old, bro.
More
They
or less,
just hit.
because
They don't actually die.
They just regrow.
Because
Yeah.
plants don't actually go. You try to get rid of, plants and stuff, they just come back.
Mhm.
They don't actually go nowhere.
Yeah.
Like these trees, I don't know how old these trees are, but
Yeah.
they're old, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
So
know?
they say you can tell by the amount of rings they got.
You have to cut it down for it.
Find out.
But if you cut it down, it'll grow again.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
how mad it is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
man. Like, I remember when I saw there was a big, call it big trees. I don't know. It's 800 years old, bro. And that shit was crazy, bro. That shit was like a building. And like the actual roots of it, so big I could like sit on the roots. That shit was crazy, man.
Trench.
I'm pretty sure they would just continue to live.
Yeah. So that's eventually what's gonna come to the 12 tribes of Israel, man.
That's right.
An eternal age, a world without end. No?
Has it?
Yep.
You got anything?
Yeah. That's it.
All right, cool.
Well,
All right,
Well, you know what I did? I checked into it. I asked chat GBT about the trees part, right? And it's interesting. It says, trees, especially in the ancient Near East, like the olive trees or cedar trees, can live for hundreds or even thousands, of years. Trees are symbolisms. Our trees are symbols of enduring life, fruitfulness, and God's provision. So it's true, because you think about a tree, like a tree gives life. You know what I mean? Like it's a consistent life. Like if it's planted by good water, and it's got good light, it'll just keep doing its thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
And enjoying the kind of fair.
Yeah.
it's always scattering seed.
It's always scattering seed. No. Oh, it says God is promising that his people, his elect, right, will enjoy fruitful lives without oppression or injustice. No?
That's it.
So even ChatGPT asked me, let me know if you like a breakdown of the verse in the Hebrew. He asked me, want to break down the verse in the Hebrew. Yeah. Oh, shit, man, I'm after us. All right, man.
Yeah, okay. Hey, man, no, it's been edifying, man.
Yeah.
And we're going to close up, man. So we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. But Shem Yahweh Shai, but Shem Yahweh Dash. Again, double honor unto the elders, the apostles, GMS. Shalom out there to the boys and the feasters out there. Watching this, man. Shalom.